against Hakeem Jeffries, the highest ranking Democrat in the House. So in Congress, that is. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Get your popcorn ready. Final thoughts are next, right here on First Edition.
That's right. More First Edition live from the Newsmax newsroom straight ahead.
Nothing is off limits to David Harris Jr. And there's no apologies, because he's armed with common sense, real faith, and the truth. Don't miss him on The Pulse tonight.
Hi folks, we're back. If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
You seen that life insurance thing I got in the mail?
It's over there.
The recycle bin. I sent for this.
You're buying life insurance now? Have you been to the grocery store lately? The last thing we need is another bill.
That's exactly why we need life insurance. It can help pay those bills. Funeral costs, too. Take a look at this. It costs pennies a day.
That's right. Rates for Colonial Penn Life Insurance start at $9.95 a month. That's 35 cents a day. And this is one bill you know will never go up. A lifetime rate lock guarantees it. Your rate is guaranteed, and so is your acceptance. That makes applying quick and easy. There are no medical questions, no physical exam. Since you can't be turned down, we don't ask about your health. Call for more information and your free gift today.
Call 1-800-289-8855 for free information and a free beneficiary planner. That's 1-800-289-8855. 1-800-289-8855.
I'm Rhonda Swan, and welcome to the Wall Street Minute. Today we're walking down Fifth Avenue with Luke Hanby, the founder of Tusk, the first premier men's shapewear brand in the United States.
3 out of 4 men here in America suffer with body image, and we're changing that. We're helping them feel confident about themselves, because for so long, men just left to suffer in silence about how they're feeling. And so we're changing that. We're giving them a base layer to feel confident about themselves, walk into their day feeling good.
The Tusk brand is helping men regain their self-confidence and self-worth with their shapewear. So what's the big mission for Tusk?
Yeah, so the mission is to give men their confidence back and make them feel good about themselves again. We're going to be in department stores all across America, or you can go to my website, tuskapparel.com, TUSQ, and then, yeah, get your stuff there.
Thank you for watching Wall Street Minute.
And we will, of course, also be awaiting that meeting with Zohran Mamdani and President Trump. I think that one might be pretty explosive. Some are saying it could be like the Zelensky meeting, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Make sure it's a large bag of popcorn, folks, because, you know, the outcome of that in terms of Trump's positions and then Mamdani, because he's coming in with an agenda.
Right.
Right. And
Experienced Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell brings you Jerusalem Dateline, weeknights at 9:30 on the Dove TV, encouraging and informative. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Good morning. We made it through half the week.
Well, yeah, we made it to Hump Day.
It's Wednesday, yes. 3 more days and it's another weekend. The weather is going to be lovely, and if not, it's still going to be lovely.
Well, it's going to be fall weather, so it is lovely. Yeah.
It is lovely. How are you this morning?
Very well, thank you. Good morning. And you, did you sleep well?
Yeah, I actually had some good couple hours of deep sleep.
You know what I have found through the years here?
What?
Sleep deprivation is a great sleep aid.
I know.
To get you to sleep fast at night.
I know, tomorrow. This Saturday, I'll see it about 11 a.m. when I crawl out of my bedroom.
It takes conditioning, it really does. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. And
Thank you.
As well on this Wednesday morning. And guess what? We're starting off today is National Education Support Professionals Day. That means everybody who keeps your school running who's not actually just teaching you.
Okay.
And so that means
librarians, janitors.
custodians, yes. I remember when I was a kid, we had this thing. Do they still have chalkboards in classrooms?
I would assume
Where you actually
so.
use chalk and erasers?
I'm sure they have a lot of dry eraser boards, but
okay. Yeah, I bet they
probably
do. You know,
chalkboards.
I don't know. Maybe other people can relate to this, but a thrill for us was getting eraser cleanup duty, where we would collect all the erasers that have, you know, the chalk all over them that we would, you know, we would hit each other with it. But we would take it down to the custodian's office, and he had a machine that would clean the eraser, and it was custodian Ernie. And Mr. Johnson, we'd go down there and we'd talk to him, and he was just the nicest guy. And so,
Isn't it amazing how all these years later, and I won't say how many years later, but you remember one person?
Absolutely. So, you know, he was vital in the support of keeping our school going, and for all those in that role or in those roles, our hats off to you this morning. Also, National Play Monopoly Day. Did you guys did you guys grow up playing Monopoly in
I wouldn't.
your
Well,
neck of the woods?
we did play Monopoly when I was a teenager, so early '90s, mid '90s.
Oh,
I would
okay.
say.
All right.
But not, you know.
I mean, that's a capitalism game.
I know.
You know?
Yeah. So it was fun, but it was mid '90s, I would say.
Okay, now did the Russian version have all of the board pieces and street names and everything as it
did,
is?
but
or did you change them?
Well, they changed them into the Russian ones.
Okay.
So, you know, the Broadway we don't have, it wouldn't make sense, so they put a street that was famous and desirable for us.
Oh, yeah,
but the rules, the little play things, what do you call them? Pieces?
Yeah, the pieces, right.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah, I'll buy the Kremlin.
Yes. I don't think that one was on the list. That one is off limits. What was your favorite piece to play with? What was your go-to?
I always liked the little car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I went for an iron.
Yeah, I liked the car. It was fast, you know. Yeah, give me that car. And then I would go and lose. But anyway, yeah.
It's a fun game for me, like the first few minutes. When you're
right.
just like, but once
when you still have money and you're looking for property, right? Yeah.
But once you're sitting there with like one railroad and everyone else is building their empires, you're like, okay, when is this game going to be over?
Yeah, I feel like. I don't know who, as I'm playing against Donald Trump. It's like, wait a minute, he's got all the property.
The tycoons.
Anyway, it's also, well, I should mention that that game's been around since 1902, and it has an estimated sales played by, I should say, by 500 million people. Since 1935. So anyway, have something to drink because it's National Carbonated Beverage with Caffeine Day, providing an opportunity to break out of your everyday norms and explore the variety of carbonated beverages that contain caffeine. And of course, the first commercially produced cola, it was Coca-Cola, of course, very caffeinated, but it was more than that. It was invented in 1886 and originally contained caffeine and coca leaf extract. Over 40% of carbonated soft drinks consumed in the United States contain caffeine, and caffeinated sodas are often tied to memories of sharing with friends, making them a staple in people's everyday routines. So the original Coca-Cola did have coca in it, but it was removed in 1903, but now Coca-Cola uses cocaine-free coca leaf extract in its current formula. I didn't realize that. You know, we all know that they had coca in it until 1903, and they pulled it out. So now it's like decaf coffee. They're putting decaf coca in it.
But it still has caffeine.
It's still, it's still fortified with caffeine. It is the most, Coca-Cola is the most widely distributed product on the planet. It is unofficially available in every country except two.
Really?
North Korea and Cuba.
And I bet they have knockoffs. I mean, you see Coca-Cola versions
I wonder
everywhere.
if people try smuggle it into those countries. Hey, I got a suitcase full of Coca-Cola. You give me 10,000 for it?
Do you drink it?
Yeah, I like Coca-Cola. I like Pepsi. I really don't drink, a lot of sugary, caffeinated and Coke. I drink plenty of caffeinated drinks, but I rely on good old coffee for mine. But of course, as you sit here in your red, that is the iconic color for Coca-Cola.
Yes,
it's red. And so anyway,
Represented today.
enjoy your National Carbonated Beverage with Caffeine Day, whichever label you choose. Have a good day with it.
Yes. Is that it? Or
That
is
is
there-
all I got. We got something to drink and
Nothing
nothing to
to
eat, so
eat.
fill in the blank.
Okay. Breakfast burrito is always good.
Bang.
Today is the National Breakfast Burrito Day, officially.
Is it really?
No, I just made it up.
Oh,
You said make it up,
Okay.
so I did.
I'm in. I vote
Okay.
yes. I vote yes.
All right. Well, before we look at the headlines and get some encouragement, let's take a look at the weather brought to you by Grange Co-op.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, patchy frost in spots this morning, otherwise mostly sunny and low to mid-50s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, but a chance of showers in near 50 in McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley, areas of frost and a chance of rain in upper 40s to low 50s in Salem and Albany. Patchy frost and fog, then a chance of rain in upper 40s to low 50s in Corvallis and Eugene. Patchy freezing fog this morning across central Oregon, then sunny with daytime highs near 54 in Prineville, 50 in Bend, and near 49 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, patchy fog, then sunny with highs in the mid-50s. Another front will hit the coast this evening, but today a chance of showers and breezy with daytime high temperatures near 60 in Coos Bay, 59 in Port Orford, 54 in Brookings, and near 58 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, patchy dense fog for the Rogue Valley, then a chance of showers with highs in the mid to upper 50s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. Patchy fog, then mostly sunny in low 50s in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, patchy fog, then a chance of showers in mid-50s in Wairika. Cloudy, then a chance of showers in mid-50s in Redding. Mostly cloudy and 57 in Chico, and partly sunny and near 58 in Sacramento. In the Bay Area, mostly cloudy with a high in the upper 50s in Santa Rosa. Patchy fog in Napa, then partly sunny and near 57. Partly sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61, and mostly sunny and 61 in San Jose. It's a look at your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Oh, bingo, bango, bongo. There we're looking at Mount
The moon.
Ashland again, and there it looks like the moon, doesn't it?
I'm going to call it the moon until the snow comes.
But there's somebody up there. There's a light right on the. But it's we see a glow behind the peak over there, and but it seems to be like a headlight or a flashlight, or it's the mystery of.
You mean like in the
right
the
down
middle?
here? Yeah, in the middle. Yeah. What is that?
It's not moving though.
It's not moving.
So is it
though.
there? Could it be just like
a reflection?
No. Like, do they have lights there? You know, like a small street light.
Yeah, but there's nothing there. That's where we come skiing across that top right there.
Who are you
It is
standing
the
there on the
mystery
mountain?
of the morning, and we're going to wait until it lightens up a little bit to see exactly what that is. But so sometimes the things on our mind wake us up in the middle of the night. Sometimes those are anxieties. Sometimes they're full-blown fears. You know, there's an interesting relationship between anxiety and fear, isn't there? And it is sometimes something that gets us up in the middle of the night, but take heed. We have great encouragement here. Pastor Jack Graham encourages us with promises from God's Word to cast away every fear.
Are you sick? I am your healer. Are you struggling financially? I am.
Did you go out
your
last night?
provider.
No.
We did. Yes.
Are you worried?
We went and had dinner, but we went to dinner with our Tahoe friends that we ski with. And,
Are you lonely? I am your friend that sticks closer than a brother. Are you in trouble? Are your kids in trouble? I am your ever-present help in times of trouble. Are you weak? I am your strength. Are you afraid? I am your deliverer. I am your protector. Are you in a battle? I am the Lord, your banner, your healer, your defender, your shelter, your strength. Are you bearing a burden? I will bear your burdens. Are you a sinner? Yes, I am your Savior. No need to fear. It's said that there are over 365 times in the Bible where we're told, fear not. It's the most often repeated commandment in the Bible. Do not fear. Do not fear. Do not fear.
It's a great reminder. We do have, I mean, life consists of all those things that make us fearful, but that's the one thing that we can rest upon is...
Remember,
yeah.
Do not fear.
Yeah, God has it under control. All right, well, let's take a look at the headlines we are dealing with today. The legislation to release the Epstein files has cleared both the Senate and the House. Yesterday morning, the House voted overwhelmingly to release the Epstein files, 427-1, and then the Senate just swiftly approved the legislation, and now it's going to President Trump's desk. Now, what will be released, assuming he signs, is yet to be seen. Most likely there'll be a lot of redacted information, but Senator Kennedy says that it's a great move, and now once we see the files, we can move on to better things.
Smart play. I didn't know what Senator Flynn was going to do, but the smart play here was to do it by UC. Nobody was going to object, and indeed, nobody did object. Now we can move on from the issue. The President will sign the bill, and presumably the documents will be released, and the American people can make up their minds.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see, because it is one of those situations where you still have victims, you have people who can be harmed by some of this information, yet you want to know the truth. So, and then now Pam Bondi is saying that we can't release a lot of the names, and names will be redacted. So I hope we're not getting just a black piece of paper where you just kind of assume, oh, it's that guy or it's that gal. So we'll see. But after the battle that has been happening for months now between Republicans and Democrats and Trump and his supporters, it's going to Trump's desk, and he's expected to sign the bill to compel the Department of Justice to release those files.
You mentioned Pam Bondi in this, and I did hear a report on this that was talking about the fact that it's still an ongoing investigation, parts of it are. And when that occurs, Justice Department tends to not release certain elements of information because it is an ongoing investigation. So it's going to be really curious to see what we're going to find out and how much readable information is going to be on these redacted transcripts.
You know, it's all that back and forth with Pam Bondi has been frustrating for a lot of people.
I think so, yeah.
You know, it's like, we're going to release it. Oh, there's nothing to see, no victims.
Right.
Now it's like, there's an active investigations. People are going to be hurt. So it has been frustrating. I think a lot of people are happy that this is where we are today. But again, there's this uncertainty. Will it be nothing for us to see because of all the reductions?
Right. And it's interesting, too, because we know that Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel, all now in positions of significance, all of them were calling for the release of the Epstein files in the last election cycle. And now they're in the position where they obviously know everything, and they're now the ones that, you know, either have influence in what we get to see. So is the narrative changing on the and is this really upsetting some of the real core followers and supporters of the president? Is this dividing people on the right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think many of the MAGA supporters, MAGA people, have hoped that President Trump will be a little more transparent. And I think it did hurt a lot of people when he said, you don't like it? I don't need your support.
Right.
It's like, really? After all these years of standing behind you, you're just going to dismiss us because we want what you promised us?
Is this the crux of the feud between Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yeah. But I don't know now. It's like, why did he change his mind so fast?
I'm confused.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see stuff come out. And in the meantime, some other stuff's coming out that we know that Democrat Stacey Plaskett was texting Epstein during committee hearings.
Yeah.
And then one of her colleagues stood up and defended her, saying she was just in communication with one of her constituents.
Yeah.
Like
well, we've seen the text.
We're going to see stuff. It's going to be interesting.
All right. Well, this topic did come up in the Oval Office after President Trump met with the Saudi prince. Of all the things, the reporters wanted to talk about the Epstein files, and the reporter who actually asked the question previously asked another question that made the president upset. So when she came back with a follow-up on Epstein files, he wasn't so happy.
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, it's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. As far as the Epstein files is, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. But I guess I turned out to be right. But you know who does have? Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night, every single weekend. They lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did. Andrew Weissman, I hear. All these guys were friends of his. You don't even talk about those people. You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax to try and get me not to be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today. It's a hoax. Now, I just got a little report, and I put it in my pocket, of all the money that he's given to Democrats. He gave me none, zero, no money to me. Who should look at that? Because I think when you come in and when you're 97% negative to Trump, and then Trump wins the election in a landslide, that means obviously your news is not credible, and you're not credible as a reporter. So I've answered your question. You should go and look at the Democrats who received money from Epstein, who spent their time. Larry Summers was with him all the time. That creep of the fund guy was with him all the time. What's his name? Reid Hoffman. Who? Reid Hoffman. I don't know Reid Hoffman, but I know he spends a lot of money on the radical left. Reid Hoffman, in my opinion, should be under investigation. He's a sleazebag. And those are the people, but they don't get any press, they don't get any news, and you're not after the radical left because you're a radical left network. But I think the way you ask a question with the anger and the meanness is terrible. You ought to go back and learn how to be a reporter. No more questions from you.
Isn't it crazy? And what a testament to today's political climate, or just the atmosphere we're in when the reporter's question becomes the headline.
Right, and I think how you saw him respond there is an example of why some people dislike him so much and why some people like him so much. Because he doesn't take the garbage from the left-wing media who's used to spinning and getting away with it, and he just speaks in a kind of a street language that people aren't used to from the president, and he calls them out on it. So however you feel about it, that's just the way he is.
Yeah. Well, they did have a pretty productive meeting with the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and the prince told President Trump that Riyadh will ramp up its planned investments in the United States from $600 billion to roughly $1 trillion, which is a striking vote of confidence in the United States economy and Trump's pro-growth agenda. So that was, and by the way, that state dinner they had, oh, she looked beautiful, the First Lady.
Imagine how good they're all going to look in the new ballroom when they do that.
Oh, yeah.
That makes people on the left just crazy.
No, it was a beautiful event. All right, and wrapping up our headlines, I wanted to bring this up. This was interesting. Nicki Minaj, who is a rapper and has not been, in my recollection, has not been very pro-Christian in her songs, or at least in the way she presents them and the lyrics and all that. She actually spoke at the UN this week in her to put a spotlight on the genocide of Christians in Nigeria.
It is an honor to stand on this stage with you and the other distinguished speakers here today to shine a spotlight on the deadly threat faced by thousands of Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage in calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right to freedom of religion or belief. I stand here as a proud New Yorker with a deep sense of gratitude that we live in a country where we can freely and safely worship God regardless of one's creed, background, or politics.
That is very interesting.
The president of Nigeria says there is no genocide, but the report that I've looked at and the team that's been put on this issue by President Trump are saying that, you know, thousands of Christians have been persecuted in that country, and the Muslim groups, kind of like ISIS, they are, you know, since 2009, the rise of Boko Haram, they are taking territories one by one, establishing the caliphate, and the Christians are the ones to go and the ones that are losing their lives. So it is very interesting.
That was not only, that she spoke in defense of Christians, and obviously she is a person of faith. But I was also surprised that she referenced the president as positively as she did.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. She apparently they've teamed up, and he's working with her, or she's working with him to bring attention to this matter.
All right.
So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. All right. Well, when we come back, is America ready for a female president? That is the question.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
The first show, it really kind of emotional for me, because all along I felt like the Lord wanted us on all the major platforms in the morning. When people get up in the morning, they turn something on. In today's world, they check their phone, they check their computer, they check TV, they check radio, and we felt like the Lord wanted us on all those platforms. The question I had for the gentleman that was helping us get on TV, could we get on TV and air the audio on radio? Could we combine the two together? And so the day came where we launched it. It was March 10th. We'd go on the air, and we did it. We did it in this little room. And 3 of us were on the set, Steve Johnson, myself, and Polina. We actually act like we knew what we were saying and doing. We didn't have any monitors. The control room was in a room next to us with a little window where you could barely see in there. And we just got on the air and started gabbing, and it worked.
They're fun-loving twins. They love God, hunting, and pranking each other. Join the Hamptons for outdoor adventure every weekend on Twin Factor. Brought to you by Black Flag Armory in Medford and Grants Pass. Truly excellent service.
All right. Well, the election is 3 years from now. It feels like Trump has been in the office forever.
Yes.
But only less than a year. So anyway, the election is coming up in 3 years, and
is the campaign already on?
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What is it, like a couple of years before people are going to start announcing? The Democrats, of course, are probably thinking who is going to represent us.
Well, we know.
What do you think, Newsom?
Well, at least according to him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, and every time there is an election, people are wondering, will we get our first female president, first gay president, first black, whatever. You know, we've had black president before. But Michelle Obama has been speaking about this, and she was asked, as someone who many people admire, would she run for a president and become the first female president? And some questioned that statement too. Anyway, this is what she said.
As we saw in this past election, sadly, we ain't ready. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not. So don't waste my time. You know, we got a lot of growing up to do. And there's still, sadly, a lot of men who do not feel like they can be led by a woman, and we saw it.
Wow. What do you mean we saw it? You just need to choose a woman that's worthy of leading.
There you go.
Man.
Well, and you know, last time Kamala failed her campaign, and a podcaster and the host on Fox, Kat Timpf, said it had nothing to do with Kamala being a female.
I'm just stuck on the fact that she thinks that apparently if Kamala couldn't do something, then no woman could.
Yes. It's insulting.
I do find it personally insulting, yes.
Yeah.
Because, okay, sexism is a thing. That was not Kamala's thing. That was not the reason that Kamala was not elected. I mean, she could not have had more behind her to try to make this work. Remember, as soon as she was announced, everyone was like, let's go. And she just couldn't articulate the reason she was different from Biden or really much of anything at all.
Yeah.
That was the reason.
Yeah, I mean, had nothing to do with her being a female, except for she might have used it in some capacity to explain why she failed.
Yeah, she should look at her word salad surgery more than anything else. Yeah, she had a tough time communicating, and it's funny now as she looks back, she goes, she didn't realize the gravity or the importance of designating the difference between her and Joe Biden. Is like, come on, people wanted that right from the get-go. That was one
Just
of the
so
basics.
interesting to me, a woman who has, so Michelle Obama, you know, she's had this career of being a first lady. She's gone pretty much, you know, to the top in the way, and she has a lot in her life. She's very entitled, and she always keeps coming back with these excuses, and now the excuses, we're not ready for a female president. Well, give us a good candidate.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe we'll consider.
Right.
I can't think of anyone personally, especially on the Democrat side. I think maybe AOC would run.
You know, I think that there's a day that she's absolutely going to run. She's going to rise as one of the party leaders, and she already is. But, you know, back to we're not ready for it. It's like, what have we had a choice of? We've had Hillary and we've had Kamala. I mean, come on.
We weren't ready for those two.
Give me Sarah Sanders Huckabee.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's take a look at the weather.
Yeah.
You want to tell us what this picture means?
There's all kinds of stuff spinning around out there, and of course it is that time of season where we are getting changeable weather. We're looking at a chance of showers today in upper 50s, but we see some clearing on the horizon. We're going to see partly cloudy skies for the next couple days starting tomorrow, and low 50s, but into the mid 50s for the weekend. We're going to see sunshine on Saturday and partly sunny on Sunday, and then again, according to my weather app, and of course these are always right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. And well, it says I don't see any rain in the foreseeable future, so we will definitely keep an eye on that.
Hey, sorry, I didn't realize I was supposed to be giving the weather. But I don't do weather. It's your thing. So that's why I kind of put you on the spot there with the weather.
Well, that's okay. You know, I'm always in weather mode.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You've got to pull up that
You want
app.
to take over stocks as well?
No,
Okay.
you can have it. But I'll take this one.
Okay.
As U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matthew Whitaker, spoke with Newsmax's America Right Now and said that NATO is stronger now because of the president.
Well, first of all, there's no doubt that Donald Trump has made NATO stronger. He has made sure that our transatlantic defense and our allies are contributing and boosting their capabilities and their resilience and investing in their own defense. You know, many European countries took a peace dividend where they took their foot off the gas, stopped investing in their military, stopped investing in border security, and it's been hard for them to ramp back up. But with President Trump reelected and sworn in January, you've seen a renewed focus on this exact issue. And I'm, traveling all over the alliance, and I'm seeing the real capabilities that are being fielded by our allies. And, it takes the burden off the American taxpayer, who no longer has to provide the conventional defense of the European continent. And that's a big win for President Trump. It's a big win for the American people, but it also, our European allies are also strong.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna go have some Coke as in a drink, and then we'll be back to take a look at more news.
All right. I remember somebody came into the studio when I first started, and they were puzzled because they looked at the mixing board that I work on, and there were all these little Post-it notes on it. And they were looking, and one of them said me, and one of them said CD1, and the other CD. And they were looking, and they said, Post-it notes, this doesn't make sense on a board. I said, I've never done radio before. I got put in here. So Pat Daly, who was the program director at the time, he lined me up and he said, this is your microphone. I said, hold on, Pat. And I filled out a little strip, me, I put on that. He says, oh, he started laughing. He said, this is your first CD player. And I posted that one. And I labeled every channel, so when it was time, because we're doing live radio, there's no pre-records or anything like that. So when you hit a button, you had to hit the right button, and I had no clue.
The Dove Radio, 65 years.
Hey, it's your old car here. Remember me? Remember us? You barely even turn me on anymore. It's clear you don't need me, but that's perfectly fine, my friend. Because you can choose to give this old car new purpose and donate. There are incredible nonprofits out there that accept cars just like me. So call or donate online. Donating a vehicle is easy, the pickup is free, and your gift is tax deductible.
Woohoo! Welcome to Fish Lake Resort, where adventure is everywhere. And everyone is your friend. The fishing is great. And the food is tasty. The RV sites are full hookup, and the cabins are cozy. It's always a good time at Fish Lake Resort, and the best part is, you can come visit any day of the year because we are open all year, 7 days a week. Visit fishlakeresort.net today to learn more and plan your visit.
Happy Wednesday. Well, yesterday, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman met with President Trump. And what does the whole Middle East think about this get-together? Here's CBN News.
This is CBN News Watch.
It is Wednesday, the 19th of November, going to begin this half hour with the White House meeting as President Donald Trump and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia discuss key issues, including the Abraham Accords and the creation of a Palestinian state. Paul Petit has this story. He's reporting from Jerusalem.
In the first visit by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to the White House in 7 years, President Trump is moving to deepen security ties and civil nuclear cooperation with the world's largest oil exporter, a relationship the president has made central in his second term. The Crown Prince told Trump he wants Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords and normalize relations with Israel, but only if there's a clear path toward a Palestinian state, something Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insists cannot happen.
I don't want to use the word commitment, but we've had a very good talk on the Abraham Accords. We talked about one state, two states, but I think you have a very good feeling toward the Abraham Accords.
Yes, definitely, Mr. President. We want peace for the Israelis, we want peace for the Palestinians, we want them to coexist peacefully in the region, and we will do our best to reach that day.
The two also signed an agreement making Saudi Arabia a major non-NATO ally with the U.S., mirroring the security arrangement long in place with Israel. It includes selling F-35 stealth fighters and 300 U.S.-made tanks to the kingdom. MBS has agreed to invest $600 billion in the United States, with the goal of pushing that investment to $1 trillion. Responding to a question about the 2018 murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, Trump defended the Crown Prince, saying he did not know about the operation, directly contradicting U.S. intelligence findings.
About the journalists, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for, no real purpose or not in a legal way, and it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc., in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
And today, in a separate diplomatic track, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is set to meet in Turkey with a senior Hamas delegation to shore up the ongoing ceasefire in Gaza. Hamas is defiant about disarming, but the U.S. is expected to push that demand as it works to keep the truce alive in the Gaza Strip. Paul Petit, CBN News, Jerusalem.
And our CBN Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell is joining us now from Jerusalem to continue our coverage. So, Chris, what if Hamas continues to refuse to disarm? Would that not violate the ceasefire, and could Israel then strike again?
Yes, Ephraim, it would violate the ceasefire. Point 13 of President Trump's 20-point plan says that Hamas and other factions, they agree not to have, first of all, any role in the governing of Gaza directly or indirectly. But then it goes on to say that all military, terror, and offensive infrastructure, including tunnels and weapon production facilities, will be destroyed and not be rebuilt. And so there'll be a process of demilitarization under Gaza under the supervision of independent monitors. So, yes, they would be in violation if they don't disarm. They've said quite clearly and often they're not going to disarm. And yes, I believe Israel could strike them again. In fact, they've been hitting Hamas for violations of the ceasefire, and especially for coming over what's called the yellow line. And that's the line right now where Israel controls 53% or so of the Gaza Strip. Hamas is in control of 47%. So it may be the sort of the Hezbollah model. After the ceasefire in November of 2024, Israel has been hitting Hamas in violations of their ceasefire. It's likely that Israel will be doing that to Hamas for their violations of this ceasefire.
Chris, it seems the Saudis are requiring a Palestinian state as a condition for joining the Abraham Accords. Will Israel ever accept that?
Well, certainly, as you said, Paul said in his report, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that's not going to happen. And if you listen to Israelis, there was a poll by the Jerusalem Center for Security and Foreign Affairs just 2 days ago that says 70% of Israelis oppose a Palestinian state. That's the highest level since October 7th. What's happening right now is this is a pressure campaign by the Arab Muslim states, particularly Saudi Arabia, that would put pressure on Israel to have a Palestinian state. And the quid pro quo is that they would join the Abraham Accords. And some believe this may have been as well the price for the release of the hostages several weeks ago. That was a similar scenario that actually happened in 2020 when the Abraham Accords was signed, was for also Israel gave up recognition for Judea and Samaria for the Abraham Accords. And we talked to Dan Diker yesterday about this. He said what it really is doing is Israel is conceding the historical, legal, biblical rights and secure borders for the normalization with Saudi Arabia. There was no indication yesterday by the Crown Prince that he would go ahead and say whatever the language is in the Trump plan is sufficient, but we'll see, hopefully, in the next days, weeks, exactly how this is going to unfold.
Very interesting. All right, let's quickly take a look at what this fall weather has for us this week, well, actually today. Here's Jerry.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, patchy frost in spots this morning, otherwise mostly sunny and low to mid-50s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, but a chance of showers near 50 in McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley, areas of frost and a chance of rain in upper 40s to low 50s in Salem and Albany. Patchy frost and fog, then a chance of rain in upper 40s to low 50s in Corvallis and Eugene. Patchy freezing fog this morning across central Oregon, then sunny with daytime highs near 54 in Prineville, 50 in Bend, and near 49 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, patchy fog, then sunny with highs in the mid-50s. Another front will hit the coast this evening, but today a chance of showers and breezy with daytime high temperatures near 60 in Coos Bay, 59 in Port Orford, 54 in Brookings, and near 58 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, patchy dense fog for the Rogue Valley, then a chance of showers with highs in the mid to upper 50s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. Patchy fog, then mostly sunny in low 50s in Klamath Falls. Into Northern California, patchy fog, then a chance of showers in mid-50s in Wairika. Cloudy, then a chance of showers in mid-50s in Redding. Mostly cloudy and 57 in Chico, and partly sunny and near 58 in Sacramento. In the Bay Area, mostly cloudy with a high in the upper 50s in Santa Rosa. Patchy fog in Napa, then partly sunny and near 57. Partly sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61, and mostly sunny and 61 in San Jose. It's a look at your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Okay, there's the shot I was waiting for, Paulina. We saw a little flashlight or something earlier when it was dark, and it's gone now, so it's a mystery.
Why is the camera crooked?
I don't know.
It's like make me tilt my head, and it's hurting my neck.
Yeah, Tower View Live, and it's a little crooked, but there are certainly clouds over the valley. But, well, in the automotive world, there have been big successes as well as failures, and one of the biggest failures of all hit the dust on this day in history.
On November 19th, 1959, Ford Motor Company pulled the plug on one of the most famous flops in automotive history, the Edsel. Ford had plenty of success stories by the late 50s, but the Edsel was supposed to be the next big thing. Flashy styling, cutting-edge features, and a massive marketing campaign. Instead, it became a symbol of what happens when hype doesn't match reality. Buyers didn't connect with the car's unusual look, its higher-than-expected price, or the confusing number of models and trims. Add in a recession, and the Edsel never stood a chance. After just 2 years on the market, Ford canceled the line, losing the modern equivalent of over $1 billion. Still, the Edsel's legacy lives on as a reminder that even one of America's most iconic automakers had its misfires. And sometimes history is defined just as much by the failures as the successes.
And it's sad, you know, the name it really connotates failure, and Edsel was the name of the son of Henry Ford. Henry and Clara Ford, I think, was her name, and they had one child, and it was Edsel, and his name got put on the biggest failure the Ford Motor Company ever had. But check this out. Of the between 40 and 70,000 produced, fewer than 10,000 Edsels survived to this day, and they are extremely collectible.
That's what I was going to say. Failure back then, now it's probably very expensive.
Yeah, a mint condition Edsel convertible from any of its 3 model years can sell for over $100,000. The rarest Edsel by body style is the 1960 Ranger convertible, of which only 76 were built, and I'm sure those are worth a pretty penny. But if you're eyeing an Edsel out there, don't let the past history, you know, get in your way. Buy it if you got the money.
Have you ever had a classic car?
I had a Ford Mustang, yeah. I had that classic car, and of course, a VW Beetle's classic, right? Yeah, that was my first car. It was '66 VW Beetle, and
it was great.
I wish I had both of them back.
I bet they cost good money now.
Yeah, you know what? Anything in that vintage that's kind of iconic, like the Beetle and like the Mustang, you can collect them. So, no, I just drove them real hard. You know, the saying says buy low, sell high. I always do the opposite. Buy a high and sell low.
Yeah, but you have fun.
Yeah, put a lot of miles on them.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, after the devastation left from Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica, Samaritan's Purse has come in and helped residents that are struggling there. They certainly need our prayers, but here's the report of what Samaritan's Purse has done so far.
We were watching what was happening all around us, and it was just terrible. Melissa just ripped up everything because there's none that's been saved.
Samaritan's Purse is in Jamaica, and we are just east of the Hurricane Melissa track of storm damage. Storms and natural disasters get us into what I think is a sacred place, and that is people have lost everything. They've looked up to the Lord and they've asked for help, and they are receiving the help, and we are part of that. Samaritan's Purse Mission Aviation Services allows us to move large quantities out to these areas as quickly as possible to meet needs right now on the ground. There are so many places in Jamaica that are inaccessible. So we can show up in Jesus' name and say, we're here to hear from you. What are your needs? And I brought things with me, and I've got another helicopter coming in an hour, and that's gonna meet those needs immediately. With our water, sanitation, and hygiene teams, we're putting in filters where we can find surface water. We're testing that water beforehand, and then we're assuring that we can provide potable, safe drinking water. And when we put those systems in, we're providing water in those communities for literally thousands of people a day.
God is still helping us, and He's sending out His servant, to help us.
For non-food items and distributions, solar lights. We've been doing kitchen kits. Kitchen kits have been important because all their belongings are blown away. So I don't even have something as simple as pots and pans to be able to cook with. We're doing hygiene kits. So to provide them with soap, toothpaste, feminine products, those kinds of things, I can get through today. I don't have to be dirty as well as having everything destroyed. And then we're doing the tarping. And the tarping has been just huge. As I watched out in the community, one by one, blue tarps started going up in roofs as I was watching. We have an emergency field hospital located in Black River, Jamaica. That field hospital has a 50-bed capacity for inpatient care. It also has a surgical suite. It has an emergency room for triaging patients as they come in. It has a pharmacy, and it has laboratory testing capabilities. The hospital in that community was completely destroyed. Our hospital will be the only hospital in that community for the foreseeable future. The needs here are going to be lasting for a long time. One of the roles I think Samaritan's Purse plays in a disaster is to alert the church around the world to pray. They're calling out to us, please don't forget our needs. Please remember us.
Wow. I'm always amazed at the amount of work that they do, how their relief efforts are instantaneous. I mean, they're always one of the first on the scene, and how to coordinate all the aspects of what they do. And then on top of it, they do this program where they're distributing shoe boxes to kids around the world. It's mind-boggling.
Oh, they have so many. They're like an octopus. They have so many different programs they have, and all of them are pretty successful. They have a well-oiled machine going on, and the shoe boxes are being collected right now.
Right, and Perry is always quick to remind folks, if you're at a point in your life, at a stage in your life where you're moving on from maybe your career to something of significance, Samaritan's Purse has a lot of openings. They need a lot of volunteers. They train you. They take you to the places that need to go. And of course, you can go to SamaritansPurse.org, and I love it. When you go to their site, the banner at the top says it all. It says, it's all about Jesus, period. So that may be a call on your life at this point in time, SamaritansPurse.org.
It'd be interesting if 10 years from now someone says, I was listening to the morning show one day and I heard Jerry's voice, and he said, maybe that's the calling in your life today.
It's
and
interesting.
It changed their life.
It's interesting how that works. It's one of the reasons I'm sitting here right now was hearing a message, and it was at our church by a guest preacher that came in and said, maybe God's pulling you in a direction right now, and you're resisting. You should maybe go. You know who that guest pastor or the guest speaker was Perry Atkinson. Yes, yes. And all these years later, I think it's amazing, where God talks to you and how He talks to you.
Did he know you were part of the church? Did he arrange for
No. I was sitting out there. I was anonymous, and I was impressed. He had a great message that day, and I had.
He does that.
Yeah, I had no clue. All these years later, we'd be sitting on the morning show together. It's crazy.
Here we are.
God works in mysterious ways.
He sure does.
Oh, man.
All right, well, Venezuela has been in the headlines recently. We're yet to see whether there'll be any talks between the presidents, and we'll talk about that when we come back.
Can your hands of glory reach down and heal the hurt of the broken? God of the universe,
Don't let pain hold you back. I'm Dr. Joel Brind, and I developed Sweetamine to stop inflammation the all-natural way. Just use it like a sweetener once a day. It's that simple. My unique formula harnesses the power of glycine and works around the clock to boost your overall health, stopping chronic inflammation that causes pain. Try my 12-day challenge risk-free for just $19.95 with free shipping at sweetamine.com or call 1-855-GET-SWEET today. Relief has never been so sweet.
Quite a few years ago, I had to make the decision, were we going to be all Christian music or were we going to go into more of a program format? And I decided to go the program format because Christian music was still trying to find its way. It has a lot of variations to it. It's very encouraging. It's a big business. But we decided to stay more in a format that fit and complemented the news side of what we were doing.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
At Max Mobile Storage, the commitment is simple: to offer unmatched convenience and reliability in storage. Max Mobile Storage delivers containers right to your doorstep, making storage easy and hassle-free. Founded in 2012 in Medford, Oregon, we sell, rent, and fabricate top-quality shipping containers for homes and businesses. Locally owned and operated, we're proud to serve our community with friendly, reliable service you can trust. More information at maxmobilestorage.com. maxmobilestorage.com.
Good morning, wakey, wakey.
Wakey, wakey, yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Well, Venezuela is a place where we're kind of keeping an eye out on all the military buildup in that region. Will the presidents talk to each other? Here's Rick Scott, Florida senator, talked to Newsmax's Greta Van Susteren, and they discussed whether the two leaders will be talking.
Well, first off, let's all remember he's not the president. The president-elect is Armando Gonzalez. Maduro is the head of drug cartels. So the president should meet with him, and what he should say is, you better get your butt out of Venezuela. Your days are numbered. You might as well move to Russia or China right now, because you will no longer be in power in Venezuela. It's just a matter of time. President Trump is doing the right thing. He's holding these drug cartels accountable. I have grandkids. I want my grandkids to be alive. What this president's doing is saying, I care about Americans by getting rid of these narco traffickers. You want to sell drugs into our country? You want to kill our grandkids? You're going to die. That's exactly what this president has said. We shouldn't be buying anything. We should not be buying anything that helps the regime. No different than we shouldn't be helping China. We shouldn't be helping. China's decided to be our enemy. All right, don't buy things from China. We shouldn't be buying things from Venezuela to the extent it helps Maduro, and this helps Maduro. So, President Trump has tried everything he can to try to hold Maduro accountable. If they talk, I'm very comfortable. What the president's going to say is, you're no longer going to be in power. You might as well leave.
I wonder if they're going to get together.
Yeah, and it's easier said than done. Don't buy anything from China.
Well, yeah. Boy, yeah. How do you do that? I mean,
it's hard.
you go into stores and well, shopping online. I don't care where you're looking. It's hard to avoid that, you know, that product.
It is.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about something more positive.
Let's talk about something made somewhere else, like in Italy. Mountain climbers have long relied on high-altitude shelters in time of need, but here is a shelter that is like nothing you've ever seen before.
Designers in Italy are unveiling a stunning new glass cabin that will give mountaineers a safe place to shelter with the same sleek style you'd expect from a Milan office tower. Created ahead of the 2026 Winter Olympics, the cabin will first be showcased in Milan before being airlifted to its permanent home high in the Alps. It's called a bivouac or a rifugio in Italian, and the concept comes from an acclaimed Italian design firm. The team used a 3D scan of local rock formations, shaping the structure like a natural crystal to blend seamlessly with the mountain landscape. Inside the futuristic shell, the cabin is designed to support life in harsh conditions, producing its own energy, storing power, and even harvesting water from the air. Designers say it's meant to leave a minimal visual footprint while showing how innovation and nature can work together, a fitting symbol as Italy prepares to welcome the 2026 Winter Games across the Alps and the region of Lombardy.
Kind of looks like an Airbnb, doesn't it?
Yeah, but are they going to just place them all over the mountains?
No, that's going to be one specific. I think they're just doing that initially, and maybe they'll have others in the future. But yeah, there are refuge shacks in a lot of high altitude areas where climbers are, and oftentimes they're marked. They know the GPS coordinates and such of where these places are. And in time of need, you know, it could be the difference between life and death when you climb into one of those places. So it's going to be interesting.
Well,
and then it also triggered that thing coming up, the Winter Olympics, right around the corner.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, coming up, more of us. We'll be right back.
All right. I had one time where I got an important phone call, and I didn't realize that I had the mic open, and nothing else was playing. And for 13 and a half minutes, I carried on a private conversation over the radio, and caring listeners started calling, trying to warn me. I've had a lot of other bloopers, but that was the one that was kind of the nail biter.
The Dove Radio, 65 years.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond, but that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family-run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
You're watching the Dove TV, encouraging and informative for San Francisco and the Bay Area. Seen on KURK3 and these Dove TV affiliates. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, I hope we're encouraging and informative.
Yes.
Good morning. It's Wednesday. It's time to get up and face the day.
Now that's encouraging.
Thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Paulina and Jerry in the studio today. Good news, Perry will be back tomorrow.
Yes, he will.
So all the Perry's fans rejoice.
And
tomorrow things are back to normal.
And all the Paulina fans rejoice because you'll be back on Friday.
I
anyway.
sure will, because someone is not going to be here.
Yeah, we got to go see Mama.
Yeah, well, good.
Yes.
We're so blessed to be able to see your Mama.
I'm very blessed, yeah. So we're going to go see Mom. And
Well,
we're looking forward
Yeah,
to it.
have fun.
Yep. Well, guess what? We got a couple things going on today. First of all, it is National Education Support Professionals Day, and that means everybody who keeps that school going who's not actually teaching to the kids. And that, boy, a lot of administrators, a lot of like custodial workers and crossing guards and things like that that keep schools going. And, you know, I always think of custodian Ernie when we used to go do the erasers and go clean them up when we were kids. We used to go down to the custodian's office, and he had that little machine. And, man, this guy, he would teach us. You know, we'd like, okay.
So what was the machine doing?
It was cleaning the chalk out of the erasers, because the erasers get so, and I don't know, are there chalkboards in schools, in classrooms anymore? I don't know.
So you had a special eraser?
Yeah, it was like a felt eraser, you know. It was like everybody who had a big chalkboard, you remember it, and when it got full of chalk, you could hit it on the chalkboard and you could leave chalk marks on, or you'd throw them at other students and it hit you and you'd have a big chalk spot on you.
We didn't have that technology. We just used, you know, a cloth fabric. You just put some water on it and you clean the
And of course, if you did something wrong, then teacher would give you a piece of chalk and you'd go something, I will not do whatever it is 100 times. I will not do
and I will not do. To a therapist.
And then somebody had to go erase it all, and then we had to go clean those erasers in the custodian's
Did you guys
office.
have to clean the classrooms?
We didn't. That was custodial work.
Okay, because we did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you had shifts.
You know what? That's a good idea.
Wash the floors and all that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Child labor at its
you were an
finest.
education support professional at one time, too.
I sure
Cleaning
was.
up your own. Oh, that is great. Okay.
My day.
It's also National Play Monopoly Day. Did you do much of that when you were a kid?
Some, and later in my teen years, so mid-90s is when we got Monopoly, and of course it was adjusted to the Russian streets and names and all that, but it was a fun game, and I do like it. It tends to last way too long for me.
Oh, yeah.
The first part is fun.
Yeah.
I would, you know, I wish there was a way to play it and then just kind of like...
So, you know, one of the big streets in Monopoly is Park Avenue. Was there a Park Avenue in the Russian version, or did you guys like have the Kremlin, or what did
We
you
probably, I'll have to look it up, but we probably had the equivalent of that. Maybe it was the Red Square, or maybe not the Red Square, but a street leading up to that. So some kind of a famous street in Moscow.
Well, it's a board game that's been around for a long time, designed in 1902, and it's been played by an estimated 500 million of us since 1935. It is also, we only have one thing to consume. It is liquid, and a lot of people are doing it every day, all day. It's National Carbonated Beverage with Caffeine Day.
Has to be with
providing an
caffeine.
opportunity, because a lot of us just do kind of, coffee in the morning. We do our caffeine in the morning. We get but so this is an opportunity to break out of your everyday norms and explore the variety of carbonated beverages with caffeine. Excuse me. And of course, the first commercially produced was Coca-Cola, invented in 1886, and originally contained caffeine as well as coca leaf extract. Over 40% of carbonated soft drinks consumed in the United States contain caffeine. We have this thing with caffeine, don't we? Caffeinated sodas are often tied to memories of sharing with friends, making them a staple in many people's daily routine. So however you ingest your caffeine, put a little bubbly in it and have it carbonated today.
Okay.
Excuse me.
By the way, when you leave on Friday, who does the weather? Perry? Who'll do the weather?
I will probably pre-cut the weather.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So you'll hear the voice of Jerry, but I will be gone.
Well, let's hear the voice of Jerry now. Here's the weather.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, patchy frost in spots this morning, otherwise mostly sunny and low to mid-50s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, but a chance of showers in near 50 in McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley, areas of frost and a chance of rain in upper 40s to low 50s in Salem and Albany. Patchy frost and fog, then a chance of rain in upper 40s to low 50s in Corvallis and Eugene. Patchy freezing fog this morning across central Oregon, then sunny with daytime highs near 54 in Prineville, 50 in Bend, and near 49 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, patchy fog, then sunny with highs in the mid-50s. Another front will hit the coast this evening, but today a chance of showers and breezy with daytime high temperatures near 60 in Coos Bay, 59 in Port Orford, 54 in Brookings, and near 58 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, patchy dense fog for the Rogue Valley, then a chance of showers with highs in the mid to upper 50s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. Patchy fog, then mostly sunny in low 50s in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, patchy fog, then a chance of showers in mid-50s in Wairika. Cloudy, then a chance of showers in mid-50s in Redding. Mostly cloudy in 57 in Chico and partly sunny and near 58 in Sacramento. In the Bay Area, mostly cloudy with a high in the upper 50s in Santa Rosa. Patchy fog in Napa, then partly sunny and near 57. Partly sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61 and mostly sunny in 61 in San Jose. It's a look at your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Looking at the Rogue Valley, it's a little cloudy out there. We don't really see much of that ground fog that we were talking about, but certainly clouds over the valley. And maybe a chance of showers later, but then some clearing coming our way. Well, Pastor Jack Graham is here with encouragement. He reminds us that perfect love casts out all fear, and God loves you perfectly.
The scripture says that perfect love casts out fear. That's 1 John chapter 4. Perfect love casts out fear. That doesn't mean that we love him perfectly or that we do anything perfectly. You know, I don't do anything perfectly, do you? I certainly don't love perfectly. So it's not talking about our love for God when it says perfect love casts out fear. It's talking about the perfect love of God for us, right? God loves you perfectly. Eternally. Nothing will separate you from the love of God in Jesus Christ. He's got this. He's got you. He guides us. He guards us. He provides for our every need. He protects us in every circumstance because of his love. And so if you know that you are perfectly loved by the God who loved you so much that he sent his only son, who stretched out his arms on an old rugged cross, saying, I love you with an everlasting love. The God who took sinful man with one hand, holy God with another, and in Christ brought together life and salvation. Paul said, don't you know if he loves you this much, he will freely give you all things in Christ? That's how much you're loved. Nothing shall separate us from the love of God, which is in Jesus Christ. Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes we do stupid stuff, and it does separate us from God, you know, the sin, the separation, but He's still there, even in the darkest moments and in the times when we make mistakes. He still loves us. It's such a comforting thought. All right, let's see if the headlines are going to be comforting today. The first one is that the Senate has approved the Epstein Files bill, and that was after the House overwhelmingly said that yes, those files should be released. Now it's going to President Trump's desk, and he's expected to sign, meaning that the State Department will be compelled to release the Epstein files. Senator John Kennedy said it's about time and a good move.
Smart play. I didn't know what Senator Clinton was going to do, but the smart play here was to do it by UC. Nobody was going to object, and indeed, nobody did object. Now we can move on from the issue. The President will sign the bill, and presumably the documents will be released, and the American people can make up their minds.
What do you think? Do you think we're going to find out anything, or is this going to be so redacted that we don't really learn much?
I think it's going to be redacted. I mean, that's what Pam Bondi has indicated already, that there's just too many names that they need to protect at this point for different reasons, not just the victims, but also people that are actively investigating.
Exactly. Yes.
So in that case, we're not going to know. So, you know, if you're hoping to see, you know, so-and-so is implicated, well, that so-and-so may be totally blacked out, so we won't know. But we shall see.
Okay.
Now, this topic did come up in the Oval Office yesterday when President Trump was giving a press conference or like a press meeting with the journalists after his meeting with the Saudi prince. And it is always interesting when the reporter question makes more of a headline than the event itself. So this reporter, ABC, she asked President Trump something, or the prince earlier, to kind of tick them off. But then later she came back and asked about the Epstein files, and this became a big headline because President Trump didn't want to have any of that.
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, it's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. As far as the Epstein files is, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. But I guess I turned out to be right. But you know who does have? Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night, every single weekend. They lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did. Andrew Weissman, I hear. All these guys were friends of his. You don't even talk about those people. You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax to try and get me not to be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today. It's a hoax. Now, I just got a little report, and I put it in my pocket, of all the money that he's given to Democrats. He gave me none, zero, no money to me. Who should look at that? Because I think when you come in and when you're 97% negative to Trump, and then Trump wins the election in a landslide, that means obviously your news is not credible, and you're not credible as a reporter. So I've answered your question. You should go and look at the Democrats who received money from Epstein, who spent their time. Larry Summers was with him all the time. That creep of the fund guy was with him all the time. What's his name? Who? Reid Hoffman. I don't know Reid Hoffman, but I know he spends a lot of money on the radical left. Reid Hoffman, in my opinion, should be under investigation. He's a sleazebag. And those are the people, but they don't get any press, they don't get any news, and you're not after the radical left because you're a radical left network. But I think the way you ask a question with the anger and the meanness is terrible. You ought to go back and learn how to be a reporter. No more questions from you.
What do you think about that approach? I don't like it. Go away. No more questions.
Oh, well, you know.
Does it still Well, I don't know if it ever did, but does it bother you that the president speaks like that, or do you,
It doesn't bother me.
appreciate the
No,
honesty?
it doesn't bother me. I lived 10 years in New York City.
Okay.
I'm used to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
I think that's what attracted a lot of people to Trump is
Yeah.
his,
No
you know, there is
nonsense.
no
Yeah.
wishy-washy political talk.
Right.
Kind of.
And I think part of it is, too, that, you know, he's sitting here with, you know, talking about the deals that's going on with the Crown Prince, and all of a sudden, you know, the Epstein subject comes up again. They keep throwing that up. And yet, even though the Biden administration was sitting on this information for 4 years, did you ever see that happen when Joe Biden was with a foreign dignitary or a head of state or anything? Did they ever throw questions like that at him?
No.
Yeah,
I mean, and plus, they couldn't really throw questions because they were called by our name.
Right.
There was a list of people who could speak.
And
it was
a
so
list
scripted.
of questions that they could ask. Right. It was all scripted. You're right.
Remember, for like 4 years, we had a half-asleep president?
Yeah, and not a threat to democracy.
No.
Yes.
Well, something good did come out of this meeting with Saudi prince that was kind of overshadowed by this exchange, but the prince did ramp up his planned investment in the United States from $600 billion to roughly $1 trillion, which is a striking vote of confidence in the United States economy and Trump's pro-growth agenda. I mean, all these are big numbers and hard for us to comprehend as we go and fill up our cars and pay so much for our groceries. But, you know, it's a good sign between the countries.
One thing that's pretty consistent, though, you know, every time he meets with heads of state or representatives of a foreign country,
they make deals?
Yeah, they make deals. He comes out and is like, oh, we got this many billions being invested, a trillion here, a billion and a half. It's like, it's astounding to see what is going on there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's certainly the art of the deal.
He was showing on video, we saw he was showing him the wall of presidential portraits.
Yeah.
They have the auto pen for Biden. All right, well, last headline that I saw this morning, actually, and I didn't realize that this took place at the United Nations, but quick background. Christian persecution around the world is definitely real and is happening. And in Nigeria, according to one report for International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law, 7,000 Christians were killed in Nigeria in just the first 7 months of 2025. I mean, it's happening there on a daily basis where people are being persecuted by mostly Islamic radical groups that are trying to claim territories and are pushing Christians out or killing them or kidnapping them. So things are not looking good there. Yeah. Well, Nicki Minaj, haven't heard her name for a while. She's a rapper, spoke at the United Nations and pleaded on behalf of those Christians in Nigeria.
It is an honor to stand on this stage with you and the other distinguished speakers here today to shine a spotlight on the deadly threat faced by thousands of Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage in calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right to freedom of religion or belief. I stand here as a proud New Yorker with a deep sense of gratitude that we live in a country where we can freely and safely worship God regardless of one's creed, background, or politics.
Oh, wow.
We do, and of course Christians in this country have their own challenges, but there are so many Christians around the world, in Nigeria, in Palestine, in Gaza, in all those areas, in Northern Africa and some other parts, that are being persecuted.
Right.
And we need to pray for them, and I'm glad that they're being brought to the forefront.
Yeah, we're getting news of this, and not only Nicki Minaj here, but also the president has addressed this, and I think maybe this was kind of in the dark for a lot of people, but it certainly has been going on for a while and isn't slowing down. So that attention is needed. Good job, Nicki.
Well, speaking of presidents, in 3 years we will have a different president. Time will fly. Yeah. And there's already talk on both sides who will be running. Will it be a female president the next time we hold the election. Well, we'll talk about it after the break, whether the United States is ready.
You are my refuge, you are my strength. As I pour out my heart, these things I remember. You are faithful, God,
Hello, my name is Ryan Robertson, host of a new program on the Dove, Ministries on the Move. This program is designed to help you and your ministry. Tell us your story. We want to know what God is calling you and your ministry to do. Let us help you have a greater impact. Contact us today at theDove to be a special guest with Ministries on the Move.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian owned and operated, pet friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
Good morning. Make sure I'm not muted. How many female candidates have we had for president? Just 2, right?
Yeah, just 2. Yep.
The ones that actually made it through the primaries.
Right.
Hillary
now,
and
you got to remember they were rigged primaries, but yeah, they. In fact, there was one.
Kamala
rigged,
didn't even have
one
a
rigged
primary,
primary,
yeah.
one non-existent primary. So yeah, we've had.
But
2.
they made it to the finish line and didn't quite cross it.
Yeah.
Well, more than quite.
Yeah.
There was a big gap. Anyway, Michelle Obama is a darling of the left. Don't get me started there, but she was recently asked about possibly running for president next election cycle. And in response, she said, well, our country simply isn't ready for a female president.
As we saw in this past election, sadly, we ain't ready. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not. So don't waste my time. You know, we got a lot of growing up to do. And there's still, sadly, a lot of men who do not feel like they can be led by a woman, and we saw it.
Yeah. You know, the way she talks down to the audience and to us is so annoying to me.
What do you think of that? We ain't ready, or you ain't ready. It's like come on.
Lady,
what is this?
you were there for 8 years, and even though everyone says this was a scandal-free presidency, it was not. And what the Obamas have done to our country is yet to be uncovered and talked about, and it has already. But yeah, and the fact that she says we're not ready for a woman president because Kamala and Clinton didn't win.
No.
Is just silly.
Yeah, we weren't ready for those women to be president.
Yeah. Well,
that's all that said.
And Kat Timpf, who is one of the hosts on Fox, said it more eloquently than I just did.
I'm just stuck on the fact that she thinks that apparently if Kamala couldn't do something, then no woman could.
Yes. It's insulting.
I do find it personally insulting, yes.
Yeah.
Because, okay, sexism is a thing. That was not Kamala's thing. That was not the reason that Kamala was not elected. I mean, she could not have had more behind her to try to make this work. Remember, as soon as she was announced, everyone was like, let's go. And she just couldn't articulate the reason she was different from Biden or really much of anything at all.
Yeah.
That was the reason.
And I think it's a great point. We weren't ready for those two.
Yeah.
As a country, I don't think it has anything to do with gender or color or, if you're a qualified candidate, all power to you.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting, too, because after Hillary Clinton's failed attempt, she had a lot of blame to spread around for why she failed, but she pointed her finger at women. She said that women didn't,
support her?
Didn't support her, right, exactly. And I thought, well, there's plenty of blame to go around out there, but apparently we ain't ready.
I don't know. What do you think about the potential candidates? If you were to nominate a woman for president?
Sarah Sanders Huckabee. I just like her. I think she's very statesmanlike. She speaks very, matter of fact, common sense. She strikes a chord with, I think, with working people, with the common people across the country, and she's on the right side of the issues. Period.
Do you think she could be a little too soft for the role? I mean,
I don't know. I
don't think it's sexist to say, but you got to be tough to be a president of the United States.
You know what? I look at her, how she handled the press corps, when she was press secretary. She was good. I think she was matter of fact. She didn't let anybody push her around. I think she's strong. She knows who she is. She's a woman of faith.
Do you
and
think
she lets
MAGA
that guide
people
her.
would go for her?
Do I think who?
MAGA?
That's a good question. I can't predict what MAGA will go for anything.
Yeah.
That is an element that I just don't know. But I
just
think
see
it's
this
common
fraction, these fractions happening in the MAGA party. MAGA party, it's not really a party, but the Trump supporters, because whoever runs next are going to need these people.
Right. Well, we know the president really likes her.
He does, yeah. They have a really good relationship, and of course she served under him. I do wonder if, because, and I'm not, Israel has been in question, the influence of Israeli government on our politics, and the just kind of take all the money you want type of a support from the United States for Israel has been an issue for some Republicans and MAGA Republicans. And the fact that the Huckabee family is so involved in Israel, with Mike Huckabee being the ambassador, I wonder if that would be an issue for some people, surprisingly, of all the things that could be an issue.
I hope not, and I think that if it is an issue, I think it's an issue for people on the left who wouldn't vote for her anyway. Period, because we know who the anti-Semites in this country are. We see a little bit on the right, we do, but we know that's primarily from the left, and so I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. But it would be interesting if Sarah ran, and then AOC and all those. Because I think if you look on the left.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm glad you brought that up. I have one question for you, because I've been reading on social media that they say that an unbeatable team for the left in the next election cycle would be AOC.
And Newsom?
Well, no, Kamala.
Really?
Yeah, Kamala and AOC. They said they would be unbeatable.
Oh, my Lord.
I think anybody could beat them. But anyway, could you foresee a ticket like that?
Well, it would be entertaining. As cringy as it was to listen to some of Kamala's speeches, because she couldn't articulate things well.
No.
AOC speaks well, but also has some pretty crazy ideas. Although she's been, making sense on some things, and also kind of going a little more middle compared to the others. I don't know.
We see that move, don't we? We see people on the far left try to move to the center when they try to gain, another, especially a national, elected position. We'll see. I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, let us see how the stocks are doing. None of us here are financial experts, but we'll just read the numbers on the screen, and we're looking at the green panel all
bouncing
around.
back up after a big sell-off.
Dow is up 92 points, NASDAQ is up 292, and S&P is up to 6,673 So, I don't know, looks good. And as far as our commodities go, both gold and silver are up. The price of gold today is $4,113, and silver is up to almost $52, $51.69. And crude oil is down. That's the one you like.
How about it? Will
It's
it ever?
still around the 62 mark.
Will it ever show up at the pump? We'll see. West Coast, we just suffer because we have fees and taxes beyond anything anywhere else, and so our prices seem to stay at a certain level. But
Get a
anyway,
bicycle.
hey, guess what's still in the news?
What?
Epstein files. And of course, we saw the House of Representatives vote 427-1 to release the Epstein files. So who's the one? What's up with that dude? Why does he not want these things released? Well, congressional correspondent Kilmeny Duchard spoke with Newsmax about the House of Representatives voting, and with Republican Representative Clay Higgins voting no.
Yeah, Katrina, Bob, good to be with you. We knew that this would pass overwhelmingly today, perhaps surprisingly to see that Republican Congressman Clay Higgins was the only Republican and only member on both sides of the aisle to vote against it. But he said that this should not have come as a surprise. He released a statement a short time ago saying, I have been a principled no on this bill from the beginning. What was wrong with this bill 3 months ago is still wrong today. It abandons 250 years of criminal justice procedure in America. As written, this bill reveals and injures thousands of innocent people, witnesses who provided, people who provided alibis, family members, etc. He goes on to say that if enacted in its current form, this type of broad reveal of criminal investigative files released to a rabid media will absolutely result in innocent people being hurt. That is exactly the issue that we heard from House Republican leadership during their press conference today, particularly Speaker Johnson, who said we wanted to have the Senate make some of the changes that the House couldn't because of the nature of this, the discharge position itself. It didn't allow the House to make some of these changes. Here's what we heard from the Speaker a little bit earlier today.
If and when it is processed in the Senate, which there's no certainty that that will be, that they will take the time methodically to do what we have not been allowed to do in the House, to amend this discharge petition and to make sure that these protections are there.
Okay. So we're going to see a lot of redactions.
Redactions, amendments.
Yep.
All right. Well, there was a big meeting in the White House yesterday between President Trump and the Saudi prince. How are the folks in Israel reacting to this, and what's about the future of Saudi Arabia's relationship with Israel? We'll talk about that after the break.
Hello, my name is Ryan Robertson, host of a new program on theDove, Ministries on the Move. This program is designed to help you and your ministry. Tell us your story. We want to know what God is calling you and your ministry to do. Let us help you have a greater impact. Contact us today at theDove to be a special guest with Ministries on the Move.
Faith isn't meant to be hidden. It's meant to be worn boldly and shared daily. At wearyourjesus.com, every piece is more than clothing. It's a conversation starter, and every purchase has purpose. 100% of profits support IM 320, helping people find hope and emotional health through God's Word. Visit wearyourjesus.com today and be bold in your faith. For a limited time, use the discount code below at checkout to save big. That's wearyourjesus.com. Wear it, live it, share it.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
Welcome back. Well, before we talk about classic cars and all the fun stuff, let's turn to CBN News for some updates from the Middle East.
This is CBN News Watch.
It is Wednesday, the 19th of November, going to begin this half hour with the White House meeting as President Donald Trump and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia discussed key issues, including the Abraham Accords and the creation of a Palestinian state. Paul Petit has this story. He's reporting from Jerusalem.
In the first visit by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to the White House in 7 years, President Trump is moving to deepen security ties and civil nuclear cooperation with the world's largest oil exporter, a relationship the president has made central in his second term. The Crown Prince told Trump he wants Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords and normalize relations with Israel, but only if there's a clear path toward a Palestinian state, something Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insists cannot happen.
I don't want to use the word commitment, but we've had a very good talk on the Abraham Accords. We talked about one state, two states, but I think you have a very good feeling toward the Abraham Accords.
Yes, definitely, Mr. President. We want peace for the Israelis. We want peace for the Palestinians. We want them to coexist peacefully in the region, and we will do our best to reach that day.
The two also signed an agreement making Saudi Arabia a major non-NATO ally with the U.S., mirroring the security arrangement long in place with Israel. It includes selling F-35 stealth fighters and 300 U.S.-made tanks to the kingdom. MBS has agreed to invest $600 billion in the United States, with the goal of pushing that investment to $1 trillion. Responding to a question about the 2018 murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, Trump defended the Crown Prince, saying he did not know about the operation, directly contradicting U.S. intelligence findings.
About the journalists, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for, no real purpose or not in a legal way, and it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc., in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
And today, in a separate diplomatic track, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is set to meet in Turkey with a senior Hamas delegation to shore up the ongoing ceasefire in Gaza. Hamas is defiant about disarming, but the U.S. is expected to push that demand as it works to keep the truce alive in the Gaza Strip. Paul Petit, CBN News, Jerusalem.
And our CBN Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell is joining us now from Jerusalem to continue our coverage. So, Chris, what if Hamas continues to refuse to disarm? Would that not violate the ceasefire, and could Israel then strike again?
Yes, Ephraim, it would violate the ceasefire. Point 13 of President Trump's 20-point plan says that Hamas and other factions, they agree not to have, first of all, any role in the governing of Gaza directly or indirectly. But then it goes on to say that all military, terror, and offensive infrastructure, including tunnels and weapon production facilities, will be destroyed and not be rebuilt. And so there'll be a process of demilitarization under Gaza under the supervision of independent monitors. So, yes, they would be in violation if they don't disarm. They've said quite clearly and often they're not going to disarm. And, yes, I believe Israel could strike them again. In fact, they've been hitting Hamas for violations of the ceasefire, and especially for coming over what's called the yellow line, and that's the line right now where Israel controls 53% or so of the Gaza Strip. Hamas is in control of 47%. So it may be the sort of the Hezbollah model. After the ceasefire in November of 2024, Israel has been hitting Hamas in violations of their ceasefire. It's likely that Israel will be doing that to Hamas for their violations of this ceasefire.
Chris, it seems the Saudis are requiring a Palestinian state as a condition for joining the Abraham Accords. Will Israel ever accept that?
Well, certainly, as you said, Paul said in his report, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that's not going to happen. And if you listen to Israelis, there was a poll by the Jerusalem Center for Security and Foreign Affairs just 2 days ago that says 70% of Israelis oppose a Palestinian state. That's the highest level since October 7th. What's happening right now is this is a pressure campaign by the Arab Muslim states, particularly Saudi Arabia, that would put pressure on Israel to have a Palestinian state. And the quid pro quo is that they would join the Abraham Accords. And some believe this may have been as well the price for the release of the hostages several weeks ago. That was a similar scenario that actually happened in 2020 when the Abraham Accords was signed, was for also Israel gave up recognition for Judea and Samaria for the Abraham Accords. And we talked to Dan Diker yesterday about this. He said what it really is doing is Israel is conceding the historical, legal, biblical rights and secure borders for the normalization with Saudi Arabia. There was no indication yesterday by the Crown Prince that he would go ahead and say whatever the language is in the Trump plan is sufficient, but we'll see, hopefully, in the next days, weeks, exactly how this is going to unfold.
That's the phrase of today. We'll see.
We'll see how it
Everything,
unfolds.
yeah. Well, let's see what the weather is looking like with our meteorologist, Jerry Bilden.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, patchy frost in spots this morning, otherwise mostly sunny and low to mid-50s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, but a chance of showers in near 50 in McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley, areas of frost and a chance of rain in upper 40s to low 50s in Salem and Albany. Patchy frost and fog, then a chance of rain in upper 40s to low 50s in Corvallis and Eugene. Patchy freezing fog this morning across central Oregon, then sunny with daytime highs near 54 in Prineville, 50 in Bend, and near 49 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, patchy fog, then sunny with highs in the mid-50s. Another front will hit the coast this evening, but today a chance of showers and breezy with daytime high temperatures near 60 in Coos Bay, 59 in Port Orford, 54 in Brookings, and near 58 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, patchy dense fog for the Rogue Valley, then a chance of showers with highs in the mid to upper 50s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. Patchy fog, then mostly sunny in low 50s in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, patchy fog, then a chance of showers in mid-50s in Wairika. Cloudy, then a chance of showers in mid-50s in Redding. Mostly cloudy and 57 in Chico, and partly sunny and near 58 in Sacramento. In the Bay Area, mostly cloudy with a high in the upper 50s in Santa Rosa. Patchy fog in Napa, then partly sunny and near 57. Partly sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61, and mostly sunny and 61 in San Jose. It's a look at your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, Rogue Valley, a little hazy down there, a little cloud cover. Not much ground fog this morning like we were calling for, maybe in some spots that you're coming through this morning, but on the way down from the Upper Rogue, it was pretty clear this morning. Not too bad, but you know, on and off showers maybe, and then some clearing again. But, you know, in automotive history, we have looked at some of the big successes out there, but there have been failures as well. And one of the biggest failures of all hit the dust on this day in history.
On November 19th, 1959, Ford Motor Company pulled the plug on one of the most famous flops in automotive history, the Edsel. Ford had plenty of success stories by the late 50s, but the Edsel was supposed to be the next big thing. Flashy styling, cutting-edge features, and a massive marketing campaign. Instead, it became a symbol of what happens when hype doesn't match reality. Buyers didn't connect with the car's unusual look, its higher-than-expected price, or the confusing number of models and trims. Add in a recession, and the Edsel never stood a chance. After just 2 years on the market, Ford canceled the line, losing the modern equivalent of over $1 billion. Still, the Edsel's legacy lives on as a reminder that even one of America's most iconic automakers had its misfires. And sometimes, history is defined just as much by the failures as the successes.
Of course, this car named after Henry Ford's son, Edsel. And what kind of an insult, really, in the end of it, because Edsel means failure. I mean, that's like synonymous with failure. So
How old was Etzel when the car was named after him?
that's a good question. He was an adult, and in fact, his son was chairman of the board at the time. And so he was probably, I would imagine, 50s, 60s, something like that. I don't know.
So he died,
Yeah.
Etzel Ford?
Etzel Ford, yeah.
He died in 43. Does that make sense?
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, no, hold on. Born in 93. That's kind of...
In
Etzel Ford was an American business executive. Oh, maybe that's... yeah.
There we go.
The only child...
Of Henry Ford.
Yeah. And Clara Jane
Yeah,
Ryan.
and Henry Ford, I think he was active in the company up through
So what-
the 40s, or at least through the 30s.
So what year was this car?
59, it was pulled the plug.
But so I wonder if they did this in memory of his son.
Maybe it was.
He was already gone.
Well, we're going to have to find out the rest of the story. But but you know,
Plot thickens.
but check it out though. The plot does thicken, because even in failure, the Edsel is a collector's item.
Oh.
It is valuable for collectors. A mint condition Edsel convertible from any of its 3 model years can sell for over $100,000. So if you got an Edsel out there, it's not failure. It's cash in the bank.
You know, I am looking... So he died at the age of 49. So pretty young. And then Henry Ford, he died in 47. So he was also gone by the time this was
They
done.
were both gone, yeah.
So someone made a decision to name it after his son.
It was Edsel's son was the chairman of the board at that time.
Oh, okay. So he wanted to honor his dad.
Henry Ford's grandson, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the chair. So
Okay. Well,
anyway.
At least Henry and Edsel didn't see what from above, maybe, but not from.
I don't know, but there are a lot of old people out there like me who remember actually Edsel's driving around.
Really?
Yeah, I remember Edsel's. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to end there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Samaritan's Purse is one of those organizations that we truly admire. They've come to our area after the devastating fires and really helped the residents. And they do it every day all over the world. And after the devastation that was left from Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica, Samaritan's Purse was there right away. And here's a little report from the work they did.
We were watching what was happening all around us, and it was just terrible. Melissa just ripped up everything because there's none that's been saved.
Samaritan's Purse is in Jamaica, and we are just east of the Hurricane Melissa track of storm damage. Storms and natural disasters get us into what I think is a sacred place, and that is people have lost everything. They've looked up to the Lord and they've asked for help, and they are receiving the help, and we are part of that. Samaritan's Purse Mission Aviation Services allows us to move large quantities out to these areas as quickly as possible to meet needs right now on the ground. There are so many places in Jamaica that are inaccessible. So we can show up in Jesus' name and say, we're here to hear from you. What are your needs? And I brought things with me, and I've got another helicopter coming in an hour, and that's gonna meet those needs immediately. With our water, sanitation, and hygiene teams, we're putting in filters where we can find surface water. We're testing that water beforehand, and then we're assuring that we can provide potable, safe drinking water. And when we put those systems in, we're providing water in those communities for literally thousands of people a day.
God is still helping us, and He's sending out His servants, to help us.
For non-food items and distributions, solar lights. We've been doing kitchen kits. Kitchen kits have been important because all their belongings are blown away. So I don't even have something as simple as pots and pans to be able to cook with. We're doing hygiene kits to provide them with soap, toothpaste, feminine products, those kinds of things. I can get through today. I don't have to be dirty as well as having everything destroyed. And then we're doing the tarping, and the tarping has been just huge. As I watched out in the community, one by one, blue tarps started going up in roofs as I was watching. We have an emergency field hospital located in Black River, Jamaica. That field hospital has a 50-bed capacity for inpatient care. It also has a surgical suite. It has an emergency room for triaging patients as they come in. It has a pharmacy, and it has laboratory testing capabilities. The hospital in that community was completely destroyed. Our hospital will be the only hospital in that community for the foreseeable future. The needs here are going to be lasting for a long time. One of the roles I think Samaritan's Purse plays in a disaster is to alert the church around the world to pray. They're calling out to us, please don't forget our needs. Please remember us.
It is stunning. It's amazing the things that they do. And as I watch and I see the relief efforts that they're involved in, it really takes me to the logistics of how all of this gets done. And then on top of it, you add, we're in the season. We're in the Christmas season, and the season includes Samaritan's Purse gift boxes that are going around to kids all around the world. And so, you know, Samaritan's Purse has grown into an entity, I think, that is being used by God in ways that I can't even imagine the Grahams thought that it would get to this point.
Yeah.
But it certainly has, and oh boy, we're grateful.
It's blessed a lot of people, yeah. But you know what? If you can't be part of Samaritan's Purse or any other big organization, you can go bless your neighbor.
Yeah.
You know, our pastor said, our priest said this last Sunday, do the next good thing. Look for an opportunity to serve. You know, that's what we are called to do. We need to be helping those who are hungry and lonely and destitute, and we need to be there for them. It doesn't have to be a big rescue mission or whatever.
True.
Just do the next good thing. All right, well, we're gonna go drink some Coca-Cola, and we'll be right back. That's a good thing, right?
Yes, yes.
A pastor here in Southern Oregon, Pastor Corey, came to me and said that somebody in his church had a low-power FM license. They didn't know what to do with it. Would we want it? So I looked into it, and come to find out that we were able to take that low-power FM station from 3 watts to a 26,000 watt FM radio station, and that's what we are today.
The Dove Radio, celebrating 65 years.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Every day in Southern Oregon, lives are shaken by poverty, violence, and hardship. Last year alone, the Salvation Army reached more than 11,000 people in Jackson County with food, shelter, and critical support. Behind every meal served, every family housed, and every life restored, there's a volunteer making it happen. Please join us. There are many ways you can volunteer and make a difference in someone's life today. The Salvation Army doing the most good together. This message made possible by the Oregon Health Authority Hospital-Based Intervention Grant.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
Oh, yeah, here we are.
I'm thinking there are graphics going on,
there
dancing.
There were.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, earlier this week we talked about the military buildup outside of Venezuela, and there is still uncertainty whether President Trump will talk to Maduro, but Rick Scott, the senator, was on Newsmax, and he covered that topic, but also what would happen to Maduro if he were to flee Venezuela. So here's his comments.
Well, I think what this president's going to do is he's going to hold these narco terrorists accountable. Now, look, Maduro is the head of El Cartel de los Solos, so Tren de Aragua. He's the head of drug cartels. That's who he is. He's under indictment in New York. So he is going to, if he doesn't get to Russia or China soon, he will be arrested and he will be in prison in the United States. That's what's going to happen. And so I think this president, in contrast to Biden, in contrast to Obama, he is going to hold Maduro accountable. He will be arrested, he will be tried, he will be in prison the rest of his life in the United States. So as Maduro understands that's what's going to happen, he will leave. He'll do the same thing as Assad did, and he'll go to Russia or China. I think he's going to be held accountable. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I believe the president's going to hold him accountable. He's the leader of drug cartels, so he's not the duly elected president. So I have no sympathy for Maduro. What he has done to the population of Venezuela, I've been to the border up in Venezuela. I've watched Venezuelan little boys and girls have to sleep on the street, getting one meal a day, having no medicine, no food because of Maduro. I have no sympathy for him. However he is taken out of power, it will be a good day for the world.
Wow. Interesting.
Have you ever been to South America or Central America?
Never have. No. As far down as I've been is Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's far enough. But anyway, hey, I think we can get this in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mountain climbers have long relied on high altitude shelters in time of need, but here's a shelter that is beyond anything we've ever seen before.
Designers in Italy are unveiling a stunning new glass cabin that will give mountaineers a safe place to shelter with the same sleek style you'd expect from a Milan office tower. Created ahead of the 2026 Winter Olympics, the cabin will first be showcased in Milan before being airlifted to its permanent home high in the Alps. It's called a bivouac or a rifugio in Italian, and the concept comes from an acclaimed Italian design firm. The team used a 3D scan of local rock formations, shaping the structure like a natural crystal to blend seamlessly with the mountain landscape. Inside the futuristic shell, the cabin is designed to support life in harsh conditions, producing its own energy, storing power, and even harvesting water from the air. Designers say it's meant to leave a minimal visual footprint while showing how innovation and nature can work together, a fitting symbol as Italy prepares to welcome the 2026 Winter Games across the Alps and the region of Lombardy.
All right. Our verse of the day, take this with you, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Have a great Wednesday, and thanks for being with us.
I was 36 years old, and my wife and I decided to sell our house and buy a daytime radio station. And we moved to Southern Oregon, our young family, we came to Southern Oregon. So I had to go out early in the morning at sunrise, turn the station on at the transmitter site, run back into the studio, go on the air for a couple of hours, program the station during the day, and then at sunset go back out and turn the radio station off. That's how we started. And we did that for about a year and a half till we were able to get a license to stay on the air 24 hours a day. After that, that was a huge move forward, but we were still a 1,000 watt radio station. Then eventually we got another frequency and another power increase. We went from 1,000 watts to 20,000 watts AM.
The Dove Radio, celebrating 65 years, encouraging and informative.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
fences doing it right for you. Just ask your neighbor.
They reflect a style as unique as you are. They make first impressions. They provide space, add lasting beauty and security. Quality is a reflection of who you are. That's why all your fencing projects begin here.
Quality fences doing it right for you.
Don't let pain hold you back. I'm Dr. Joel Brind, and I developed Sweetamine to stop inflammation the all-natural way. Just use it like a sweetener once a day. It's that simple. My unique formula harnesses the power of glycine and works around the clock to boost your overall health, stopping chronic inflammation that causes pain. Try my 12-day challenge risk-free for just $19.95 with free shipping at sweetamine.com or call 1-855-GET-SWEET today. Relief has never been so sweet.
Grab a cup of coffee
and start your day right.
Join us for Mornings on the Dove.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. Always a delight when we get to spend time with our good friend, Dr. Alex McFarland. Alex is one of the frontline warriors. He and I are sometimes found in the same trenches. He's a youth, religion, and cultural expert, author of over 20 books. He's heard on Exploring the Word on the American Family Radio Network, airing daily to about 200 stations. He also has the Alex McFarland Show. Airs weekly on the NRB TV channel and also right here on the Dove TV network. We're honored to carry it. He does have a website, alexmcfarland.com, and there's the picture of his landing page. Brother Alex, good to see you, friend. How are you?
I am blessed. Perry, it's always great to be on with you, and I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
And I want to say congratulations. Because
what did I do?
I got a call from a dear brother, Jim Kirkland. Jim Kirkland is director of radio and media with the Billy Graham Ministry. And he let me know that a friend of mine, Perry Atkinson, has been nominated to the board of directors of the National Religious Broadcasting Association. And that's, I think, the elections are next year because NRB, National Religious Broadcasters, generally meets, I think, in February. But congratulations that your years of work in Christian media is being recognized.
Wow. Thank you, friend. Thank you so very much. Alex, I know we got a lot to talk about, but I just want to kind of reach in your heart and squeeze a little bit. How are you handling the Charlie Kirk assassination?
Oh, wow. Well, you know, Charlie was a friend, and we collaborated on events going back to, I knew of him, but the first time we actually had contact was in the fall of 2021. And then in the last, 4 or 5 years, we were involved in 4 different events together, most recently 2.5 weeks before he was killed. So, it was a gut punch for sure, Perry. It's funny, not funny, but ironic. I was going on my daily live radio show, Exploring the Word, on September 10, and I was sitting there, and we were about 3 or 4 minutes into a live show, over 200 radio stations. So, when you're doing live television or radio, you're concentrating. Well, my phone just started to blow up, and people said Charlie Kirk has been shot. So I opened my show by saying, we've just been notified that Charlie has been shot. Let's please pray. So I was looking at the news, and it said he was in critical but stable condition.
Mm-hmm.
But a friend of the president texted me and said that Charlie Kirk has died. So about 15 to 20 minutes before it was on the wire service, we knew he had passed. And, we had just had him in our summer speaker series, Conversations That Matter. And Perry, as far as I'm aware, this was the last non-Turning Point USA event he ever did. After he was with us, he did a couple of events that were, TPUSA. So, and I could tell you a lot about what he shared. And Sunday night, just 3 days ago, Donald Trump tweeted the video of our Charlie and I speaking, and it was tweeted by at the real Donald Trump. So it was the president's X or Twitter feed that he tweeted Charlie's speech with me. So I feel very privileged that we got to work with Charlie and know him, even though it was only for a few short years. But what an amazing voice he was. And we're in spiritual warfare, aren't we, Perry? I mean, doesn't it illustrate the real battle between darkness and light?
Yeah. It's been said a couple of things. And as you well know, George Barney, yourself and others are saying that there has been a real interest among young men coming to church and finding out, the truth. But his assassination has triggered a boldness among young people. And one term that's kind of interesting, his assassination may have awoken a group they're calling the silent morality. In other words, among the young people, they're so tired of being lied to by the culture and all of the nuances that are out there that they're turning back to not only to God and looking into church, but their own gut is telling them morally the country's out of control. And we may have given life or birth to the silent morality may now become the really awakened morality. What do you think?
I think so. Let me just say this. This was a week ago today in Jackson, Mississippi.
Wow.
I'm at a high school auditorium, and it was so packed. There were over 100 teens that couldn't even get in the building for, a Wednesday night gospel rally. And I was asked while I was down there in Mississippi, a high school principal asked me to come speak at a public high school. It was a free voluntary assembly. It wasn't mandatory, but they said, look, you're a minister and, kids are afraid. They're, just can you come and give kind of a pastoral talk to encourage these kids? And Perry, like I say, it was voluntary, not mandatory. And yet the gymnasium was full. And so I think there's a spiritual hunger. I think among Christians, certainly Christian young people, there is a boldness. But I want to say to every pastor, every Christian, every parent and leader, this is a moment of opportunity. And the culture, especially young people, I mean, they've heard so much narrative, everything from critical theory to DEI to transgenderism, and they know it doesn't pass the sniff test. A male is not a female. There's right, there's wrong, there's true, there's false. We know this. And it's time that we lovingly but decisively tell our world, and especially young people, that look, God exists. Jesus is the risen Savior. The Bible is God's holy word. And the purpose of our life is to know truth. And we know truth and we experience life by coming into a relationship with Christ Jesus, who made us, who loves us, who paid our sin debt on the cross. Jesus is as close by as a prayer. And that's the real reality. And frankly, that's the reality that every human heart needs.
Mm-hmm. Alex, you spend a great deal of your time in ministry dealing with young people, and I know that you have an amazing future ahead in that category, but you recently have been very concerned about the welfare of the American pastor. The American pastor is under pressure unlike anything we've ever seen. If running this network is anything like pastoring a church, no matter what you say is going to get criticized. Somebody's going to fire back at you. But the point being is, you have shown some real interest and concern there. What's on your heart with this?
Well, thank God for the. It's estimated. I was in a conversation with George Barna a few months ago, and there's I don't know, maybe like 350,000 ordained ministers, something like that. Kudos to the pastors. And Perry, as you may know, at least 20% of American churches don't have a pastor right now. And so, for one thing, we need to love and affirm our pastors. Now, there's accountability, and there are examples of ministers that do things poorly. And I'm not saying that we just uncritically affirm and allow everything, but Perry, God's allowed me to speak in 2,200 American churches since 1989. I jokingly say I've been where they sleep in the pews. I've been where they jump over the pews. It's all good. 99.9% of all the ministers I've ever known are just exemplary. They love the Lord. They love their flock. They preach the word. Perry, you and I have been privileged to know some of the greats. My former boss, James Dobson, just went to be with the Lord just days ago. Vodi Bakum, who I interviewed also, John MacArthur, who I had the privilege of interviewing several years ago. There are some copious vacancies on the evangelical landscape now, but I want to say a word for all those ministers that they never make headlines. They're not famous or anything, but 1 Corinthians 15:58 says, our labor in the Lord is not in vain. And thank God for the faithful pastor, minister, assistant pastor, youth volunteer, minister of education, the administrators in the church office that keep the trains running on time. And look, God knows what you're doing, and God is pleased with your sacrifice of your life. And, in America, look, Perry, you and I have been in media, and there are kind of celebrity Christians, and that's fine. We've lived in the age of Billy Graham and all the greats, and praise God for them. But I really think at the Bema seat, when the rewards are handed out, there's going to be some major crowns for that faithful pastor serving in anonymity, never any accolades on this side of eternity, and yet it matters. I just want to say to everybody out there, more hangs on your obedience than you could possibly imagine. And so let's just, in the field where God has assigned us, let's be faithful, because it's for His glory. It's for the spread of the gospel. The rewards are going to be in heaven. Let's stay at our post, because it's for Jesus.
One thing that pops up here, as you well know, as we talk about this, research shows that there's a overwhelming feeling of pastors being isolated, alone, and some are even considering, and some have left the ministry because of it. It's a lonely thing. They can't trust anybody, and they're heavily criticized. And I don't say that to get to the negative. What I'm trying to bring to the surface here is October is Pastors Appreciation Month. Today's October 1st, so the next 30 days we should be appreciating pastors and doing what we can for them. But it's also, there's a serious turn of how many are so discouraged and so isolated and feel like quitting. What's your take on that?
Yeah, did you ever interview, and what a great brother he was, H.B. London? Did you know?
Yes.
H.B.?
Yes.
Yeah, that was James Dobson's cousin, and they worked together. And in fact, it was H.B. London that called me up, 23 years ago, and he said, "Hey, my cousin Jim Dobson wants to call you. Is it okay if Dr. Dobson calls you?" And I was like, "No. How did you get this number?" And I was like, of course. And I went to work at Focus on the Family. But HB, it was his idea to make October Pastor Appreciation Month.
Oh.
And he was a pastor for many years in, I believe it was Pasadena, California. You know, I want to encourage all the churches. Like I say, 99.9% of all the ministers, they are faithful, they're godly, they work long hours. They're at the ER at 4 a.m. when the parishioners go in the hospital and things like that. And so let's affirm and value our pastors. And by the way, let me just say this, and I've pastored 2 churches and spoken in more than 2,000. Sending them to the denominational convention for a week in the summer, that's not vacation.
No.
I know I've had a lot of churches. I had a church call me up and they said, the pastor wants a vacation, but every summer we send he and his wife to the denominational meeting. I was like, well, that's not a vacation, you know? And there is a price. Now, it's for God's glory. But I want to say there's a very high price the pastor sacrifices for his marriage and family in all of the time, the investment of time. And so, you know, I think an annual review, a job description, and, you know, cost of living increases. The Bible says don't muzzle the ox that treads out the corn. And look, if you're pastor, you've got a good pastor, affirm and appreciate them, because they could probably be doing something else and probably making more money at it.
All right, let me take a quick break. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, go to alexmcfarland.com. You can check out his website. There's a picture, a lot of resources there. And, of course, you'll see his program here on the Dove Television Network. We're honored to carry it. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Ryan Robertson, host of a new program on the Dove, Ministries on the Move. This program is designed to help you and your ministry. Tell us your story. We want to know what God is calling you and your ministry to do. Let us help you have a greater impact. Contact us today at theDove to be a special guest with Ministries on the Move.
Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
Life is complicated enough. Why worry about what to do with your extra car? Skip the costs of maintaining it, storing it, insuring it, or renewing registration. Car repairs? Forget about it. Here's one easy solution to your car problem. Donate it to our station. It's fast, free, tax deductible, and if you donate, you're going to feel incredible knowing you're supporting quality programming. Interested? Just call this toll-free number or donate online. Thank you.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
Always an honor and a joy to have with us Dr. Alex McFarland. And, of course, you see his program here on the Dove Television Network. And, of course, he has a website, alexmcfarland.com. He's all over the place. He writes books. He jumps tall buildings, outruns locomotives. Before I get into the Conversation That Matters series, Alex, I want to ask you, you just came through the summer. You did quite a few youth camps. How'd it go, and what was the outtake?
Oh, it was great. We had about 1,200 teenagers in 7 youth camps. We were in places like Montana and upstate, the Hudson River Valley in upstate New York, and had, as far as we're aware, about 384 kids prayed to accept Christ, and a lot of kids that come 2 and 3 summers, and they love biblical worldview and apologetics. And I love the stories of kids will say, Mr. McFarland, last summer you taught us how to share the gospel, and back at my high school, I led a couple of my friends to Christ. And
Okay.
so I'll put it this way, Perry. Check this out. One of our camps, the cabins or the dormitories, we could sleep 130 teenagers. And of course, we have ample, chaperones and adults. And but anyway, this one particular camp, we had a youth group call, and they begged. They said, "We have 20 kids that want to come." I said, "I'm sorry, we're full. 130 kids." Now, I want to say this: 10 years ago, Perry, and we've done camps for 27 years. We did 1 camp, and then 2, and then 5, and now we do 7. Okay, apologetics summer camp. It was a tough sell at one point. Now we do all the fun camp stuff, hiking and zip lines and all that stuff. In Montana, we have horseback riding at that particular camp. But 10 years ago, summer camp for your brain, that was kind of a tough sell. All right, now at every camp, literally every camp we do, we have a waiting list. But this one in upstate New Jersey, it's right on the New York state line. We were maxed out, 130 kids. Well, this youth group called and they said, "Look, we will sleep in tents. We have 20 kids. Will you ask if we'll just camp out and we'll bring tents?" And the camp said, "Okay, we can feed them." So the dorms were full, plus we had kids sleeping in tents because, we love the volleyball and, hiking and all the camp stuff, but they want to learn biblical worldview, and I and our colleagues are happy to teach them.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So you started this thing about conversations that matters, kind of like a speaking series. What's your goal here?
Well, it's funny. Over the last 20-something years, we, really 30 years now that I think about it, we have done 51 major apologetics conferences, Perry. And I'll tell you, I was a youth pastor in Greensboro, North Carolina for 11 years, and I wanted to meet my hero, Josh McDowell. You probably know the great Josh McDowell, don't you, Perry?
Yep. Interviewed him.
Yeah. So over the years, we've done 51 pretty big conferences. I mean, we've booked all kinds of Josh McDowell, Chuck Colson, the late James Dobson, everybody, Lee Strobel, everybody you've ever heard of in the apologetics space, we've booked. And the Conversations That Matter series this summer, it was for all ages, but really for the grown-ups, because several people said, "Well, you're doing all these camps for all the kids. What about us grown-ups?" And we said, "Sure." So we booked, people like Dinesh D'Souza, brilliant. Oh my goodness. Dinesh D'Souza, Gary Chapman, who wrote The 5 Love Languages, and people like Lauren Green of Fox News, Charlie Kirk, August 21. And then this coming up October 3rd and 4th, we've got, we were going to have Trey Gowdy and some different ones from Fox News, but they're not doing public appearances until further notice. But October 3rd and 4th, Jenna Ellis, who was one of Donald Trump's attorneys, she's got a nationally syndicated radio show now. Mark Walker, who is International Ambassador for Religious Freedom from the White House. We've got Caleb Collier, who is in the Seattle, Washington area. He's got an NRB TV show called Church and State. And then we've got a great pastor named Steve Fairchild, who's got one of the fastest growing churches in America. And so we've got the final in the 2025 Conversations That Matter series is the state and future of our nation.
Wow.
And apologetics. I'm teaching apologetics because, 1 Peter 3:15 says that we are to be ready to give an answer to everyone who asks a reason for the hope that we have. And so, Perry, revival and Christian education and equipping, they kind of run on parallel tracks, and
No
that's
question.
why we do what we do.
One last question, Alex. Do you think, I'm trying to figure out how to ask the question, but do you think churches in America are ready and have the patience to accept this new incoming flood of young people who are looking for truth? In other words, they're not like us.
That's a good question.
They're not like us, but are we ready for this?
I don't know. I would say probably a number of them aren't. And let me just say, as a guy that has kind of been at the rodeo for a long time, and Perry, I will tell you, in 30 years we have surveyed 250,000 teenagers, literally 250,000 plus. And I want to say this to everybody: the risk is not going too deep, but being too shallow. Because kids today, I want to challenge pastors that they want to drill down deeply into the Word of God. They want to hear from mature saints how to navigate this thing called life. So churches, don't feel like you've got to water down and be cutesy. The kids today, they're not looking for a fluffy Jesus bunny. That they want meat. They really do. Look, I mean, every summer we would do 10 summer camps if we had the resources to do it. So I want to encourage that it's not just truth, although that's everything, biblical truth, but it's life. How do you mature as a believer? How do you live a life that is God honoring? And do you know, Perry, over the last 2 summers, when we do our youth camps and we do joint, sessions, but we have godly Christian ladies that talk to the girls. We have godly men that talk to the guys. Guess what? One of the number one questions that guys are asking us is, how do I find a wife? Now don't laugh, but I have to tell you this. Guys have been asking us in our mentoring sessions with young men, how do you ask a girl out on a date?
Yeah.
Period. You and I came up, and maybe there was more social interaction. But Angie and I, my wife and I, have been married 36 years. Thank you, Jesus. Guys have asked me, they'll say, how did you find Angie? And you've been married 35 years. How do I do that?
Yeah.
And so I think it's exciting. First Time Anywhere, brand new book. It comes out next October 7. Bible questions and answers on prophecy and the end times.
Oh, okay.
This is the first time I've ever been on a media event to promo this book.
Where will it be available?
For this book release. It's available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com,
okay,
wherever you buy your books.
By the way, Charlie Kirk's answer to that is go to church, find a wife, get married, and have more kids than you can afford.
Exactly.
I got to go.
Jordan Peterson says this. You want to be happy, financially successful. Listen to this. Psychology Today did an article a couple of years ago. It was a study of 10,000 people from UC Santa Barbara. All right. And it was almost like a sermon on marriage. Get married, stay married, build a family. You're going to be happier, more financially stable, more emotionally stable. Oddly enough, even statistically, less likely to ever be in a car wreck.
Yeah.
I mean, and the Psychology Today article, it ended and it said, marriage and family conveys on us a host of benefits.
Good.
Volumes of research document this.
Good. Hey, got to go. Sorry, I'm cutting you short. Good to see you, brother. And Think the world of you. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, alexmcfarland.com. That's the website. And check out the new, hold it up there again. Alex, what is it? 100 questions and answers on prophecy and end times. Whoa, very timely. Check that out. It's now available. All right. God bless you, pal. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ryan Robertson, host of a new program on the Dove, Ministries on the Move. This program is designed to help you and your ministry. Tell us your story. We want to know what God is calling you and your ministry to do. Let us help you have a greater impact. Contact us today at theDove to be a special guest with Ministries on the Move.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
Hey, this is Ed, co-owner of Visiting Angels. To continue to serve our seniors, we need more caregivers with a heart to serve. Our mission statement is honoring the art of giving, which means we honor you, the caregiver. We know it's our people that make Visiting Angels the best in-home care provider and a great place to work. Come be our next amazing caregiver. Give us a call or apply online. At Visiting Angels, we're committed to you because we honor the art of giving.
Okay, welcome back, and delighted to have, actually, good timing, to have back with us Tony Lyons. Think so highly of him. He's the director of the Maha Action. He's an attorney, president of the Skyhorse Publishing, and as heading up that, he leads a national campaign to confront the chronic disease epidemic and reform public health policies. He's a publisher. He continues to champion a broad range of voices and ideas, including his books with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Wuhan cover-up, and the terrifying bioweapons arm race, just to name a few. His publishing company, very recognized. You can go to mahaaction.com is one of the websites, makeamericahealthyagain.com, and his publishing website is skyhorsepublishing.com, which you can see there some of the notable books that he has published there. The Real Anthony Fauci, the book on RFK Jr., just to name a few. Tony, thank you for your time. Good to see you again, friend. How are you?
Yeah, great to see you too.
Thank you, thank you. Hey, couple of things. Okay, so the president had this big announcement linking Tylenol or drugs like that to pregnancy and autism. What's your take?
I think it, really signaled his incredible bravery. We're going to start calling him the Maha president. He certainly has proven that he's not afraid to stand up against some of the most powerful people on the planet after years of indoctrination and of all of our government officials essentially working for these big pharmaceutical companies, doing their bidding. It shows just a profound culture shift, and that this is the beginning of a real fight against a certain kind of corruption. So, just a great moment, historic moment, and very happy to see it.
What's so interesting about this particular topic, autism, is that the research has shown this connection for quite some time. In fact, irrefutable evidence of it. And obviously, there's been a cover-up, right?
Yeah, it looks like there were internal documents from 2018 or 2019 that showed some kind of signal or connection, not the same as a cause, but it's enough that people should have been concerned, that they should have looked deeper. And that's just the kind of thing that these companies time after time have failed to do, that they've sort of taken the position that that's not their job, that what they do is they create shareholder value. They're trying to maximize profits, and they don't care what the impact is on public health.
Is this research and now recognition, is it making companies liable?
So that's clearly, not happening yet. In 2000, in 1986, there was an act of Congress passed. All the big pharmaceutical companies went to D.C. They made the argument with their lobbyists and with big donations. They were able to get in front of Congress at congressional hearings, and they said vaccines are unavoidably unsafe, something that most people don't know, because what happened is that right after they got a liability shield, they said these vaccines are so dangerous that we can't make them unless you protect us from any liability. So they asked the federal government, they asked taxpayers to pay for this liability. And their argument was essentially that vaccines couldn't be made safe, that they were going to create brain damage, neurological damage, all kinds of damage, but that it was a better outcome than the alternative, which would be that people would die of vaccine preventable diseases. But, that argument doesn't really hold weight. They were profitable companies at the time, and the only way to keep these companies, really, keep them in check, keep them from just, making more and more products that are toxic to children, is to have liability. So when you take away that liability, you just unleash these forces of greed and corruption.
To that point, several days ago, the CDC vaccine panel unanimously decided not to recommend the new COVID vaccine. What did that tell you?
I think it just shows that in so many areas, you're getting people who are really principled, people who are willing to go out on a limb, who are willing to take bold, decisive action based on the science. And they recognize that what we've had in this country isn't real science. It's corporate science meant to increase profits of the companies who are funding the research. And we have this system of public-private partnerships that really has failed the American public, and we can do better. And what's happening is that you have an administration in place now, in power now, that is willing to do better. It's willing to stand up to these forces really of evil, of destruction, of really destroying public health over a 40-year period, where we spend, 3 times the amount on public health as any other of the 30 industrialized countries, and we have just much worse health outcomes, that Americans are sicker than people in any other country.
Recently here on the West Coast, Tony, California, Oregon, Washington, and Hawaii formed the Health Alliance to make sure that everybody has access to vaccines, in particular the COVID vaccine, and they're saying they're relying on their science to make this available. Well, 2 things are problems here is what is their science, and number 2 is I don't know of anybody that's denied a vaccine if they want to get it, right?
Sure, that's a great point. That Bobby Kennedy has said time after time he's not going to take anybody's vaccines from them, but he's also not going to force anybody to get a vaccine, and he's going to really give us what we as taxpayers deserve, which is freedom of choice, but also fully transparent science, where we can look at the actual studies and gold standard science. So, this radical type of transparency is going to give parents the opportunity to weigh and balance the benefits and the consequences, and the idea that they can look at their own families, they can talk to their doctors, they can consider what's happened to their children in the past, whether they have allergies to products that are, to ingredients that are in the vaccines. So it's a much better system. And so these states, these new groupings of states on the East Coast and the West Coast, they're essentially saying that that Bobby Kennedy is dangerous, that President Trump is dangerous to public health. But what they don't seem to recognize is that everything you could possibly fear from government officials has already happened. that the failure of the American public has happened. And what we need is radical, bold change. And that's happening now. And these states are just working for the pharmaceutical companies to continue the corruption, to continue hiding information from the public, and to continue poisoning the children of America.
When Secretary Kennedy was before the congressional hearings the other day, they really drilled on him. I mean, they pounded on him pretty hard. And at the end of the day, when you go look at those who came down on him so hard, contributions to their campaign fund from the pharmaceuticals is staggering. Obviously, that's been exposed. Do you think it has some kind of a result?
I think that the public really is impacted by the information that's coming out, and they're impacted, by the stories of big donations. And they're, at some point, even people in these, Democratic leaning states, they hear these stories. They hear Donald Trump saying, maybe children shouldn't get the hepatitis vaccine on the day of birth. Maybe they should get it at 12 years old. It's for a sexually transmitted disease. Why does it have to happen then? And then they also hear, why would we give mercury to children? Why would we give aluminum to children? And they're getting the idea that it's okay to look at the details once again. It's okay to look at this whole class of products and say, some are more safe than others. Some are tested, some are not. Some have ingredients that are more dangerous than others. And then they can make rational decisions for themselves based on what they believe, based on what their doctors say, based on the package inserts, after a generation of vaccines just really being a faith decision, that you just believe in your government, you trust the government, you trust the experts, but they're really not experts. They're just shills for these big pharmaceutical companies. So I think that the story is getting through, that consumers realize that there's a difference between products, that some products cause injury, and they're not going to ever go back, that there's something that's been seen now, that's been unleashed, that I think is going to get through to everybody.
All right, with that being said, Tony, what's it like inside the FDA and the CDC these days? I mean, when the covers are being pulled back, what's going on behind the doors we don't see?
Well, I think that it's pretty clear that there's been many, many years of corruption in these government agencies, that they've been, partially funded by the companies that they're supposed to regulate. And that's a system that just doesn't work. And it's a system that's meant to protect these companies from liability, that's meant to fast track their products, but not really look at other products. So what we really need, and what I think we're beginning to get, is just unleashing innovation and real science so that it's a level playing field, so that our government isn't in the business of protecting a handful of multi-billion-dollar corporations and excluding all of these other groups, all of these other scientists who are doing cutting-edge science, where we don't want people going all around the world to get therapies, to go to Mexico to do stem cell therapy, or the Bahamas, or go to Germany for knee surgery, all around the world. We want people to come from all around the world to the United States and get cutting edge therapies here, get cutting edge treatments here, so that we're at the forefront. And this corruption has clearly been holding us back, and it's got to end, and it is ending. And we're seeing just sweeping changes, and they're coming through these government agencies, and they're just cleaning them up. And it's been, 7 or 8 months now, and there's a lot more work to do, but things are looking really good. And I think the American public is beginning to understand that.
One other quick question before I take a break, Tony. And do you think Big Pharma is starting to feel this?
Well, if you look at their stock prices, they're definitely feeling it. But I think when you look at the smear campaigns that so many of the, big media companies engage in, you see that they're looking at all kinds of tactics to try to tear down this renaissance, this outpouring of energy, innovation, and really intellectual clarity and honesty that's sweeping through this country in the medical professions.
All right, let me take a quick break. I got more to talk to him about. What an honor, and quite frankly, very timely to have back with us Tony Lyons, director of Maha Action. He's also an attorney and president of Skyhorse Publishing, his publishing company. Gosh, one of the outstanding ones in the country. So a couple of places. MAHAaction.com is that one there, makeamericahealthyagain.com, action.com. And then you have skyhorsepublishing.com. And you can see by just some of the titles there, he's been pretty responsible for some of the great publishings out there in books. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Ryan Robertson, host of a new program on theDove, Ministries on the Move. This program is designed to help you and your ministry. Tell us your story. We want to know what God is calling you and your ministry to do. Let us help you have a greater impact. Contact us today at theDove to be a special guest with Ministries on the Move.
Fox Sports game analyst Brock Heward.
College athletics has become transactional. It's my name, it's my image, it's my likeness.
His thoughts on faith.
It is a profound question. How do I know that the Lord has this for me?
And what could ruin college sports?
Greed.
Yeah.
How does it blind and paralyze from where you sit?
Thursday on the 700 Club, right here on the Dove TV.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Welcome back. Honored to have back with us today Tony Lyons. He's the director of Maha Action. He's also an attorney and the president of Skyhorse Publishing, and he's so involved. Couple of places. Just want to remind you, you can go to mahaaction.com. That's his website there for Make America Healthy Again. And then his publishing website is skyhorsepublishing.com. Tony, the other day the president announced a fairly big deal with Pfizer and other, primarily Pfizer, bringing drug prices down. I've never heard of anything where people lower their prices. What's behind this? What's really going on here?
I think these companies recognize that President Trump is serious and that they're going to have to play ball. They're going to have to do a better job. And, even though most of these companies have, been found guilty of criminal activity and have received criminal fines. We have this system here where these big companies can commit crimes, but they're no criminals. Mm-hmm. So the company commits the crime, but nobody goes to jail. But what they're recognizing, they're looking at their stock prices. They know that they have a government that's laser focused on restoring public trust, on looking at these companies and holding them to a much higher standard. Trump came out and he said he's still proud of Operation Warp Speed, that he was faced with a problem. He came up with a brilliant way to solve it. He worked tirelessly to get that done. But he also recognized that these companies lied to him. And he demanded that they deliver to the public the information that they showed him at the time so that he can really explain to them so that these companies can explain to the public what they showed him. And he said, we need this radical transparency, not in 75 years or 50 years or 25 years, but right now. And so he's going after these companies and he's making them compromise, making them do a better job, making them make their products more safe and better price. So I think it's a real step in the right direction. And I think that it shows a level of common sense, that it's not all or nothing. And we're not saying just break it all down. And he isn't saying it. And Secretary Kennedy isn't saying it. He just wants to do better, to really have bold action to make America healthy and to follow the science wherever it actually leads. Not where we want it to lead, not where the company wants it to lead, but wherever it leads.
Are they guilty of price gouging?
I think they're guilty of all kinds of criminal and moral transgressions. But I also think that it's okay to compromise. It's okay to try to do a better job. And there's a kind of a level in all kinds of areas, whether it's pricing or in toxicity, where we're living in a toxic world. We want to do better. We want to lower the toxic load of every American. We want to take heavy metals out of products. We want to take things that create allergies out of products, and all the products, because all these products have been to some extent delivery mechanisms for toxins. So we need to lower that toxic load, and that then begins to end chronic disease. Because the chronic disease epidemic has just gone off the charts in this country, and clearly we can do better. And I think in every way, President Trump and Secretary Kennedy are fighting to make it better.
How in the world do we wean ourselves away from the pharmaceutical manufacturing in China?
Yeah, that's a big problem too. Is that we need to control the products that go into all of us, all of our children. And I don't think we can trust a country like China that routinely creates products, like they create pesticides and herbicides that are illegal in their own country, and we allow them to send them into the United States, in huge quantities. So, we need to protect ourselves, and we need to bring those investments home. We need to bring that manufacturing home, and I think we can do it. I think it's possible, and we've got people in positions of power now who have the political will to do that. And at the same time, we need people to look at prevention, to look at going back to gyms, looking at food labels, deciding, not to take booster shots, deciding not to drug their children, to use modern science in the best possible way that it can be used, but also be cautious and recognize that these companies haven't had our best interests in mind.
How do you convince the medical community to go along with this when they're primarily driven by insurance coverage?
I think that generally it's going to be a tough process, but I think that it's clear that Secretary Kennedy and President Trump are not looking to become more famous or more powerful or more wealthy. And that's a great start. So they are uncorruptible. And because of that, I think they just want to do what's right. They just want to protect children, protect families, protect our health. And I think that these companies are going to have to play ball. And that's why they're making these kinds of deals. You have food companies coming out and taking toxic dyes out of their food. But it's a struggle. It's an epic struggle. And you look at articles, in the New York Times where they say, some of the dyes aren't as toxic as we thought they were, or, take more Tylenol. Tylenol isn't dangerous, even though the company itself, like I said before, admitted that it could be dangerous and could be connected to autism. So in all of these different ways, the mainstream media, places like the New York Times, are sort of, doing the wrong thing and doing the bidding of these big companies that's actually working for us, that's actually protecting us, and that is historic. That's something that we should be proud of, that we're fortunate to have, and that we should really embrace.
Isn't it interesting, Tony, that up until recently, primarily since Secretary Kennedy now is in that position, all these concerns now are surfaced. They're all out there. It's been exposed. America's becoming educated. I mean, this is the great turnaround, health turnaround in America.
This is an amazing time, and I think that what you're seeing is that these big days, these press conferences, that it's just the first of many announcements where they're just going to look at everything. You know, like I said, they're going to follow the science wherever it leads, but they're also going to turn over every conceivable stone, and they're going to look at what's causing chronic disease, and they're going to stop those things. They're going to go against those things. And the companies that are making money at the expense of the American public are going to have to change willingly or begin to negotiate, or their stock prices are going to go down. They're going to lose the confidence of consumers, which is already happening, and they're going to go out of business. But that can be very good for the economy, if you think about it, because what we need is to have hundreds and hundreds of innovative companies, of small companies that are struggling to create better products that actually help the American public lead better, healthier, longer lives. And I think that's what's going to happen, that the free market can do its job, and that more regulation is not going to help. We need less regulation, less of these incentives, less public-private partnerships, and allow capitalism and real breakthroughs in science to be incentivized, so that then we get something really better.
You know, quickly, before I run out of time, not only is the bad science being exposed and what's happened to us in our culture here with all of this medical stuff, the other part of it is there's the hypocrisy of the left, and I say that cautiously, but when Secretary Kennedy was being drilled by our U.S. Senator Merkley, or was it Wyden? Excuse me, it was Senator Wyden. And they're going back and forth. Right at the very end, Senator Kennedy said something that was absolutely stunning, and I think nailed everybody there, that you guys have been here 20 plus years, you knew these things and you did nothing about it. I mean, that was kind of like the opening of the big door, wasn't it?
It was really great, because it's sort of like, they say, and I say this all the time now, that they say that Secretary Kennedy and Donald Trump are a danger to public health. And, every danger that could have been a real risk to the public, it's already happened. That we failed to protect the public, and now we have a group in place. Now we have people in positions of power who are actually going to protect us, who are actually thinking these things through. And senators are going to have to get in line. They're going to have to really think through what their future looks like.
This has only been 9 months. What's ahead? Quickly.
What's ahead, I think, is just incredible breakthroughs and real science and radical transparency and just dramatic action, for a change, not politics as usual, not these things going on and on for decades, but real progress.
Tony, thank you. Thank you. We caught you at the last moment. Thank you so much. MAHAaction.com. That's the Make America Healthy Again website. And then check out his publishing website, which is just unbelievable. And that's called skyhorsepublishing.com. There's a picture of that landing page. God bless you, my friends. Stay in the fight. We need you.
Thanks so much.
See you later.